The last time they met these two teams, it was a 1 point and a 5 point game, and it's on right from the outset. They've just decided to get on with it and pick a free kick out. Umpires Vozzo, Kennedy and Nichols, and umpire Vozzo says, well, just clear the area, boys, and a free kick to McWalter.
Oh, this was the game last year where McWalter came out with the Dirk Diggler moustache.
Did. Chips it wide. Stephen Baker. Chips it wider, and already Fremantle flooding players back, and Del Santo's got it. Outside attacking 50.
No Fremantle player in their forward 50. One Saint back there.
If we blow the siren right now, Stevie Baker is leading possession getter on the ground. That'll be a once-in-a-career stat, I think, for him.
So Maguire goes wide to Graham, and he's got some space to move. He can send it inside 50. Gehrig's down there. Thinks about loading up Long to Gehrig. Gets around Polak. He might go all the way. He might make this whole zone back look ridiculous, and he doesn't. Was made to look ridiculous himself, and it's out of play on the full.
What about Blake? First centre bounce after this. Well, during this, actually. Umpire bounced the football.
When you're in that sort of situation like Xavier, young Xavier there, it's best to have your mouth guard in.
Yes. The voice of experience. Here's Bell on the outer side. Pulls it back towards the middle. Mainly because there's nobody up the ground. Pavlich wants to go. Drag down, had the same problem. That was holding the ball over the football Sandilands, and he was taken high, and he'll get the free kick. Aaron Sandilands, well, I've been doing it all day. Doesn't take long, does it? I don't get a lot of football down here, so that is pent up. The Sandilands comes across the ground, and McFarlane takes the mark just forward of the centre circles.
I thought it was Robbo.
Another chip pass out wide. Mundy at full stretch. Good young player, this fellow.
He's a good kid, isn't he? He moves pretty well for a tall kid. That's
75 metres out, and finds Headland on the lead as they chip it inside the 50.
Just to give us a feel, Robbo, from here you're directly behind this. Has he got the journey covered? He's going to kick from inside 50. No, well, I guess not then.
Robbo's feeling another injury. There goes the kick towards the middle. Fist from behind, got it on the deck. Not quite. Voss got the loose ball. Hayes put it on the deck with a hand pass. McManus, Farmer improvising. Graham's in the road. Chips it back towards the defensive 50. Well read by Pavlich. In front of Blake, has taken the mark right on the 50. Thought about the short pass to the pocket. Let's go down to Robbo.
Yeah, the Derm, the breeze. You got to go. If he was this side on the where the grandstand is, got to go inside that right post to swing it around.
Do you think Headland will kick it? This is Pavlich. Sorry, Robbo. Pavlich, 55 metres out. Good looking kick. It's bending left to right. It's pretty good. Great start.
Couple of possessions are all ready for Matty Pavlich. And just read that one very well, and the ball comes out. Jeff Farmer, he picks this kick off, and he's already started the run towards Blake. That's a good kick. You noticed right on the line, as Michael said as well, it almost drops dead straight.
Picked a couple of goals last week, Matthew Pavlich, and he's on the board early here. And again, the ruckmen don't get a chance to go at it. There's a free kick in the middle to restart play. Blake just hands it over to Del Santo. Wide to Fisher. Runs to the point of the square. Tried to get it inside Cook. The late inclusion smothered it. Back to Del Santo. Voss. Wide to Schwarz. Just centres it. Hits the goal square. A bouncing ball. Gehrig's down there. It bounces for him. And he slips it through. Scores a level.
I don't know what the rudiments, what the ethos is at certain teams, but one thing I know that always trained with and always told when playing footy is never let the ball get behind you by letting it go through your hands. And Anthony Grover, who is Fraser Gehrig's opponent today, that was a pretty clumsy effort. A league footballer should not let that happen. That's a gift.
This hasn't been following the script in the centre there. A centre square infringement last time. That would drive the coach batty, would it not? The ruckman's 211 centimetres. Rucks go at it again. Blake wins again. Bell knocks it down. Harvey. A scramble develops. The ball not coming out, and we'll have a whistle. If he loses 3 in a row, he has to what? Walk through Fremantle dressed as Groucho Marx next week.
It's almost like he's off the ladies' tee if you lose when you're 10 inches taller.
We'll give him that one. Blake goes after it. In went Cook. In the opposite direction, slung down there was Bell. Moved it about 15 metres. Cook goes back. Got it. He's immediately claimed by Hayes in the back, says the umpire. I think it was. Hayes had him dead to rights, but just fell in him. So Cook has this one about 60 metres out.
Chips it, hopes for Headland. Can't get there, and Baker cuts it off. You mentioned he might get the most possessions, Derm, for the first time in his career. He started well. He got it to Voss, to Hayes, who started the season well. Not such a good game last week, Lenny Hayes. Only 6 possessions in the last half against Port Adelaide and 1 possession in the final term. Shammer, he had a good game last week, over 30 possessions. Finds Carr, slips it towards McFarlane. Couldn't take the half volley. There's still a chance. McWalter, front spot, Montagna. Runs the back pocket for the Saints. He's got Voss. I'll send it across their defensive goal. He's got Blake, who's doing well so far on the man a good foot taller than him. Chips it back to Baker, and Baker marks back pocket for St Kilda.
Very big ground, this one. It'll test the players this afternoon. They intend getting back in number. Baker out of defence, a high ball towards the wing, in front. I thought it interfered with was ball. It's fisted away close to the boundary line. In fact, it's taken across by Blake and will be tossed in.
Some of the matchups in the St Kilda forward line, they're kicking with the breeze today. I mentioned Grover is picking up Gehrig. Young boy Michael Johnson gets the job on Revolt.
Sandilands slapped it down. A chance for Hayes off the ground by Pavlich. It ricochets across to Graham. Now Maguire claimed by McManus, but not before he got the hand pass to Voss. In turn, Ball. 2 to choose from out towards the wing. Del Santo has it now. Nothing much on offer. Looks down towards half forward. We're in a couple of minds. Comes back on his right foot now off the ball. There's going to be a free kick, and it's going to Pavlich.
He's called too far.
Too far.
But he bounced it.
Yeah,
wow.
Well, I'm only telling you what the umpire signalled.
Normally when you bounce it, that's okay.
Well, he wasn't moving that
was he
far.
blindsided?
Was he? The umpire?
Yeah.
You reckon he was blindsided to the bounce?
Mustn't have seen the bounce. These things happen. Here's Pavlich. Chips it down towards half forward. In front, showing courage, Harvey. The last man left standing there was Headland, who goes back and wins the football and kicks it down towards the pocket. 2-on-1 for the Dockers. Bell gets around behind McFarlane, snaps it goal, and it's going to be a free kick to the Saints. Well, they didn't make the best of that, Fremantle.
Here's Del Santo.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. They're only small, though.
They're 12.
Again.
Yeah, okay.
God.
Danger here. Farmer cuts the kick in off. Dumps it down. He might return it with interest. The Dockers in front.
There's just some glaring errors here at the moment, and it's not purely skill. It's almost like shot selection. I mean, that's not a missed kick. He just has miscalculated how close the opponents were to it, which I suppose is still a turnover, isn't it? But there's just some glaring errors here. You'd love them. Love them when you see them being set up as a forward.
Robert Harvey having a break.
Jeffrey Farmer cut off this atrocious kick across goal, and he slipped it through for his 11th goal of the season. Kicked 3 goals last week, Jeff Farmer, and his first goal of the afternoon gives the Dockers the lead. See this ruck contest again. This time Sandilands wins it, knocks it against the grain. Ball comes to Mundy. Got it from Bell. No one can break free. The umpire's found another free kick. Umpire Vozzo. And he sorts out that scrimmage in the middle. It'll go to Montagna.
Another player who you'd think would be suited on this ground, Lee Montagna, alongside the centre circles. Dockers up by 6 points. Montagna kicks well inside the forward 50. In front down there, Mundy brought it to the ground. Shammer a half chance, recovers nicely. Thornton slips it away. Carr gets it wide. Grover, who's been in very good form, kicks it up towards the wing. Good mark, Headland. He started well enough.
His
Wheels
hands are
around. Yes. He kicks inside the forward 50. McFarlane trying to reach over the top, in on the angle, and fisting away strongly. Here's Maguire. It's out of bounds, outside the 50. Thumped that about 30 yards, metres, whatever.
Don't think Goose Maguire's got an opponent at the moment. The corresponding loose man in defence at the other end is technically his opponent. Well, there's the size. Oh, and this.
Almost clean possession. You need to be quick. Eventually it falls to Carr. Josh Carr down towards full forward. McFarlane in from the side is marked 15 metres out directly in front.
Fisher just didn't have the touch there, but Luke McFarlane is an exceptional running athlete, and what we'll see is he just seems to float across the front here. There's the big fella. Took a fresh area at it. Watch this kick come in from Carr and see the pace. It's just in a matter of 3 or 4 steps. He puts a metre there.
Luke McFarlane jabs it through. Dockers have their 3rd goal.
Something would want to change here with the Saints' attitude. Something would need to change very sharply and very soon. Josh Carr getting that one away. Now the backman, that's Fisher, wasn't as close as could be. Something in and around the middle of the ground. Bit of urgency. Specifically, they need to start winning the footy.
First goal for Luke McFarlane for the game. 10th goal of the season. Kicked 4 goals against the Saints last time they played. The bounce sort of favoured Sandilands. He got a knock down, but again, as they did last week, Fremantle, they're winning the palm downs but not winning the clearances. The Saints get that ball. Del Santo and now Murray. He's got Blake out wide. He's trying to exploit Sandilands, and he does so. He gets the pass. Sandilands getting back, trying to get in front of Revolt and Gehrig. Blake takes them on. Handball's inboard to McWalter. He might load up. No, he chips the kick, and Montagne's marked 51 out. Maybe beyond his range. Looking around for pass options, and I think it's okay. I might have a crack at it. What little bit of breeze into his face.
What the Dockers are doing with their flooding of defence, St Kilda are playing their 4 main forwards within about 20 metres of goal, making space for themselves ahead.
He runs the arc to get the big wind up. He did the right thing, but didn't kick it accurately. Only a behind.
I'll just explain that to you. Gehrig starting in the goal square. Revolt starts about 20 metres in front of him, and Zav Clark and Milne just play side by side to those two. So they're all within about 20-25 metres of the goal square. So if the ball comes in quick, there's room to lead up, and they might run into the back of 1 or 2 players dropping back from the Dockers.
Matthew Carr got it from Shammer. Fremantle led it by 11 points. Again, not much to kick to. Over Gilmore's head. He's a left footer. This will make it pretty difficult. Hand passes to his own advantage. Step for step with him was Maguire, and Gilmore slaps it out. Deliberate's the call, and fair enough. That didn't work too well, but it was a wayward kick coming to Gilmore just on the ground. Maguire plays on. Gets a good shepherd from Murray. Penetrating kick deep into attack. Missed down there by Carr. Taken across the line is Gehrig. A boundary throw in right beside the behind post.
Play last week, Fraser. Chance for the ruck contest. The knockdown was beautiful this time for Sandilands. To Mundy, to Bell. From the back pocket, he rolls it straight to Sandilands' man. And he loads up Blake and sends it through.
I don't know if we've seen what you call a positive goal yet. Somebody that's actually made a goal by their own creativity, their own willingness to go and find the footy. It's all been the reaction that's taken place after a mistake. If one of these two teams decides to nail the footy and kick it the right way to the right option, they'll get a mini jump.
Got to say, these centre bounces aren't going as planned for the Fremantle Dockers. They go again, and Blake up very early, classically, but down to Crowley. Down goes Dodd, held to him, and the umpire will do it again. So Blake is jumping early, like Polly Farmer. Watch this again. Gets the leg up and gets the rise on the body of his opponent.
Now, if he's any good, Sandilands, he'll learn from that, and he'll sort it out within the next 2 or 3 centre bounces.
Well, he did that time. He won it down. It's chopped off by Maguire, who swings it wide, taken by Murray on the outer side. Montagna runs beyond the wing. Terrible kick. Terrible attempted mark by Shammer, who's been in very good form. Had the poise and the confidence to come away. Kicks it towards the boundary on the outer side. Milne goes back. Will it stay in? Yes, bounces obligingly. Milne against the boundary line goes low and hard. The mark is claimed by Geary.
Now,
he's played on. Fraser wheels around, snaps at goal. Across the face, off the fingertips of Johnson, through for a behind.
Big Fraser got that because Milne kicked it to him. The only reason Milne got to it was the kick from Shammer. He took 2 paces, bounced it, didn't come back, and he was immediately under pressure, and the kick was sprayed out to Milne.
Marking it would have helped.
Exactly.
Yes.
Put himself under pressure. Had he passed that to Johnson nicely, it would have been better too. They get it to Matthew Carr. Wide, Grover caught Shammer. Runs himself into trouble again and turns it over again. Revolt out to Murray. 55 from goal. Sends a long bomb too wide. And Del Santo screams at him. Wrong spot. I can't get it out there. Free kick, Fremantle. That's the Clanger count. Our statistician having trouble keeping up.
That's 19 we've got already, and that's a match tally. We're not even. We're only 1/8 through the match.
Crowley
Ooh,
to Mundy. Chip kick by Mundy is good. Matthew Carr's got it at half back for the Dockers, and it's on behind play. And the umpire's going to bring it back, is he?
He's bulldogged him. He Fettingham pushed his forward. He's reported him in.
Well, Fraser Gehrig had a bit of trouble down here a couple of years ago when he had his number taken and he got a bit angry in the forward pocket. Maybe it's the Launceston air.
Now that's conclusive that contact was made, but it was an open hand. I don't reckon it was an intended strike.
In fact, he was in trouble twice. Last year down here, Fraser Gehrig was fined $2,400 for wrestling Matthew Carr.
And what's he saying? He got
I don't know. I don't know what that means.
scratched or got. Remember the old horse bite you used to get in school?
Where's Gary from Friday night?
Nicky Winmar lifted the Saints jumper in similar style, but for obviously a different reason.
Yeah.
But Fraser, he's not happy out there at the moment at all. He's still going on with the emergency umpire.
Now Lenny Hayes is having a chat now to the umpire. Just on the mark, so we've got have Carr there. He's chatting to Michael Vozzo. He might be explaining Big Fraser's case.
Tire tracks on his tummy.
No, that's Sam Newman. Oh, leg. Oh, another umpire's down over the other side. They're falling everywhere. Big pack.
So picked up by Hayes at half back. Gave to McWalter. He chips it wide. Rolling ball down the wing. There's a tackle, a little bit of a push and a little bit of holding the ball. Play on advantage. Picked up by Josh Carr. Sends it inside 50. Murray. Magnificent grab.
Oh, well, we need something
Finally
like this
a highlight in this game. He sends it wide and it's a low light now. It's cut off by Carr.
Turnover.
Gives it back to Farmer. He kicks a long ball to the goal square. Del Santo dumps it through for a behind. Just when we thought we were going to get a chance to enjoy something, he turned it on us.
Oh, a little ever so slight touch on the back on the way up.
Del Santo fires it out to Ball. Defensive side of half back to Fisher. Saints backline was disappointing last week. Fisher kicks beyond the wing. In front, Grover stifled the bounce. Montagna claimed immediately by Gilmore. And Fraser is not a happy camper down there. Meantime, Shammer's got the loose ball. Fraser jarred it out of there. Matthew Carr, the chip towards half forward. Farmer comes up and takes the mark on his chest. And plenty of Dockers inside the 50, one of whom's got it now. Perhaps not the best kick of the threesome. That's Cook. He fires long. In from behind. McFarlane couldn't hang on. Launceston did pretty well in that tight situation too, and the ball is across the line for a behind.
It was imperative that Fisher got there. And what's the big one? He's angry, Fraser. He's thinking about burying his head into the turf again. It was important that Fisher got to that contest on the line to be third man up there.
Del Santo to Graham, who runs the back pocket. Couple of bounces. Takes on Crowley, a third bounce. Matthew Carr came at him. Pavlich came at him and got him. And he ran too far. Free kick, Fremantle. So another turnover from another mistake. Pavlich from the wing. And now the Saints players get back in time. He tries to spear the pass inside 50. McFarlane got one a little high from Hudson, who made him earn it, but he will line up at goal. Luke McFarlane have a shot for number 2.
Now, I've explained this here. Yeah, well, I was about to say not a big chance.
Plays on. Big long kick by Pavlich, and he's got it.
That was fantastic work by Luke McFarlane. He understands, well, there you go, the Clint Eastwood rule. The man's got to know his limitations. Here's the too far call. Goes past. Now, I tell you what, are we seeing a bit of a clampdown on just how far? Because that wasn't too far, you wouldn't imagine. But beautiful kick by Pavlich. What he's doing is playing centre forward, but he's running up into the midfield, and Maguire is staying back on the half-back line, so he's going to get that free run past.
Well, it's official now. Umpires are looking very closely at those runs of 15 metres or less.
Yeah.
And also, ruckmen are redundant. In at the centre, Polak doing the rucking now. Sandilands having a rest. Down goes Carr. It was a good tackle, and the umpire says he threw it. Advantage is paid. McWalter has a bounce on the wing. Accentuated that, so the umpy would see it. And Fiora takes a clever one-hander about 60 metres from goal.
And Revolt has got no room to work in whatsoever. So if they keep packing it back on these situations, it's going to find it hard to get a kick.
Harvey low down, couldn't hang on. Pitched just in front of him and ricocheted across the line. It's Revolt unsighted so far. And another slow start for the Saints, who started badly last week. They kicked 8 goals in the first half against Port, but Port kicked 12. Playing catch-up from there on in. Scramble over the ball. Dodd sitting on an opponent. I think it's Goddard at the base of all of that. And the umpire blows the whistle once more. A bounce just inside the attacking 50 for the Saints.
And this is just as interesting when Sandilands has a break.
Del Santo's got one from behind by Crowley. Crowley gave him one first. Del Santo gave him one first. So he's caught the second one, the umpire, as always.
Well, the umpire was watching that one.
Yep.
Yeah. Hayden Kennedy was watching that first one.
Well, how did he see the second one? Because he was looking just front on. It was inconclusive, as you so classically put it a couple of Friday nights ago.
Well, the second one, he saw the player go to ground.
Amazing game this so far. Here's Revolt. Terrible kick out to the right. He's missed. So the margin is 11 points. Nothing memorable about this clash so far.
It's a seriously twisted game.
Yes.
Revolt 3-3 last week. The Yips are back. He was inaccurate last week. Had a great first few rounds. Short chip kick was good to Grover. And he hits Parker. And he goes back to Grover. And it bounces kindly for him. Hasn't got a lot to go to now.
Good work.
He's going to have to send it long. Bouncing ball. Gilmore. Bounced unkindly for him. Fisher's gobbled it up. Runs to 50. He can go all the way. Long drop. Punt. Super. Great goal. He's missed. Just to the near side. The Breeze caught it last possible second. And it's only the one behind.
That was such bad luck for young Daniel Gilmore. He ran a good 100 metres to get onto the end of that lead. The ball seemed to have plugged and done a little bit of a leg spinner on him.
Shammer to himself, drives it beyond the 50 then, in from the side. Big leap out there, didn't stick for Polak. Off the ground by Mundy. Around the outer side wing, storming up as Baker. Joint best and fairest last season for the Saints. Knocked it in front, was claimed. He'll get the free kick, didn't have the footy. Played it well, full-chested as always out of defence. He loves that roll. Looks towards the middle, intended for Blake. He's taken it. The line of the square down towards half forward for the Saints. Into space, and Robert Harvey juggles it. It's 45 out. He's not a reputed goal kicker, far from it, but he'd like his chances from here. Just over 4 minutes till quarter time. Fremantle 26 and Kilda 16. McManus and Farmer come onto the ground for Carr and Headland. Meantime, Harvey tugs it way left. Distance wasn't a problem. He's kicked it behind.
That was that Breeze again. First touch for Robert Harvey, who equals Nathan Burke's games record for the Saints next week. 323 games.
Just want to ask Robbo where we wait on the kick. And Robbo, there is some serious carry down to that end. I reckon it's probably worth more than a 3-goal lead, even though they've only got 4 on the board.
It seems that, Derm, but they've just got to hang it out to that right-hand goalpost and let it swing in. That's no problems.
Yeah, it's 9 points the lead to Fremantle, working into it, but it seems like it's got some real extra carry going left of screen.
Matthew Carr gave it to Heath Black, 150th game. 69 games for Fremantle, then 64 with St Kilda before heading back to the Dockers. Long kick, pack flies. Lenny Hayes got hands on it. Goddard gets the handball out. Murray caught in a double tackle, and we'll get a ball up on the wing inside. Well, 3 and a bit minutes to go until quarter time, and both these teams, you sense, wouldn't mind a break so they can sit down and reassess.
Have the topping Manus, knocked it forward. It bounced back in his direction. Clark taken front on, wrestled down.
And from this bounce down on centre wing, the Dockers to the left-hand side of screen have 2 extra players in defensive 50.
Blake and Pavlich go at it that time. Del Santo to his own advantage, tracks it out of the congestion, was pushed in the back, and he'll get the free kick. Del Santo on the wing.
So, well, it's in good hands. They've got to get somebody who can use it, because all they're going to look up now, and as we talk, the Dockers filter numbers back. So they've got to find somebody who can pierce through this defence that's already set up. That's why they've only kicked 2 goals with it, St Kilda.
Saw Black to the right there of Farmer. He's the deepest man. There he is, just creeping back into picture, and Farmer sets off. He's the lone forward at the moment. Meantime, the short kick, well, that was terrible. Dodd came across and punched it away from McWalter. Opportunity for Parker in trouble. Gilmore taken down as well. Down goes Dodd. Big pack. Another whistle. So Sandilands is off the ground at the moment. That's an interesting situation, because we thought coming in, advantage Fremantle, at least on the ball. But this is an acknowledgement. Perhaps this game will be played sans ruckman throughout. Down goes Gilmore. I suppose they've got to try him again, but it wasn't working, certainly. St Kilda getting plenty of it, when in fact Blake wasn't winning the toss. Duffield in his first game didn't have the football, and how do they call that against him? I thought it was stripped. Down goes Hayes. Well done by Duffield, and again applies a strong tackle. McWalter goes back to Clark. He was dragged down. The umpire will whistle it up again. Del Santo just limp falling on the pack there.
8 disposals for Peter Bell. Bounce centre half forward for the Saints. And Pavlich, the new ruckman, reaches over the top and wins the palm down. Crowley, was he caught high? No, Fiora's got him. And we'll get another ball up. So they have lost the ruck battle, even though they've got the taller ruckman, but they're winning on the scoreboard.
Yep.
And that's what counts.
Polly Pavlich has got a ring to it too.
Ball up, and Polly Pavlich didn't go for it. Ball came down to Fiora. Big boot swung through. Didn't knock the ball clear, and we'll get another ball up. This time it's on the wing. 26 plays 17. 1 minute 41 to quarter time. Overcast skies, and if you've just joined us, the Saints kicking with a breeze, although it's across the ground a little bit, but it is heading to the Saints' end. Massive pack around the ball, and the umpire will have to do it again. Now, this is when they do need Sandilands.
If you're coaching a team like you have in the past, and your best player goes into the ruck, do you have a little bit of fear and think, I'm putting an officer in where I should have an enlisted man?
Absolutely. Not what you wanted to do before the game, surely, the way you constructed the team. But, as we said, it wasn't working. Mundy swings it across. Not only were they not getting it out of the centre, here's Grover, but Blake was doing very nicely, getting up there and directing it down to his men, his troops. Crowley on the lead is marked alongside the centre circles, but as Dwayne so pointed out, I was going to say so well, or better of it, but there's Crowley down towards half forward. For all of that, Fremantle lead 26-17. So we think there's a breeze factor as well. They've been able to attack into this breeze, build this lead. There's the kick from Carr towards the pocket. Well, Pavlich will need to go here. Coming across on the angle, it's thumped away by Maguire and out of bounds.
So we'll get a ball in. Matty Maguire and Pavlich. A good start to the game. Matthew Pavlich has already got 2 and a chance maybe to sneak one here. In the shadows of quarter time. Rips it out of the air, gives it to Peter Bell. Ducked into the tackle, gave the handball out. Gilmore, and he has slotted it. Polly's got one on the left boot.
Now this is significant. I mean, we're having a little bit of a laugh here. Polly Pavlich, he's taking it out of the ruck, and Peter Bell ducks the head and bulldogs his way out of it. But this is significant here. The Saints would want to do something with the way they're going about this. If I was Grant Thomas, I'd be looking at this saying their demeanour is what's letting them down at the moment. Now they're looking up and they're seeing a flood in the back in their forward line from Docker players, and it's taking away their initiative and it's taking away their desire and their drive. They've got to find some real spark here, the Saints. They've got to find someone to actually set them alight.
That was classical by Pavlich. Took the risk, took the ball cleanly, laid it off, and the left footer went in and got the goal. McWalter slips it away. Graham, and down to 11 seconds. Can the Saints get a late goal? Coming up to meet the football was Polak. Some miscommunication there by the Dockers, but I think the clock will beat the Saints. Goddard goes over the shoulder. Bell did well. Went back and found the football. Shammer to Matthew Carr, and on the siren, Fremantle would be well pleased.
Absolutely.
It wasn't the script they drew up, but they will take this any day of the week. They lead at quarter time. 5-2-32 to St Kilda's 2-5-17. The Saints fancied coming in with some work to do on Sunday football.
As the stars shine the night away, let them lift you up, let them lift you up, let them lift you up. 'Cause everyone can fly. Everyone can fly.
Byron Shammer, McFarlane and Pavlich combining there to help the Dockers to a 15-point lead at quarter time here at Aurora Stadium on Sunday football. It is the Dockers 5-2-32 to the Saints 2-5-17. Fraser Gehrig and Jason Blake one apiece. Matty Pavlich, multiple goal scorer, into the wind. The Dockers will be kicking with the wind in the second quarter. Well, guys, what about that? Big phrase. This is just at the quarter time siren. They're going to their huddles. So he hasn't gone into the centre circle. He'll be all right. He's not allowed to approach the umpires, but if he's on his way, the umpire makes his way to him. Is he pointing him or directing him at his huddle?
Sure.
Now he's having a chat with Hayden Kennedy. This is all at the quarter time break.
Well, he's allowed to inquire if he's been reported, isn't he?
Oh, he would have been informed. The umpires, the direction for, and I'm pretty well versed on this, Dwayne. The umpires do it on the spot, or the next break in play, or the next quarter time break. Well, yeah, that is the next end of the quarter, but I'm quite sure that when he pulled the notebook out in front of him and said, "I'm reporting you," the clarity was there for him. Let's go down to Michael Roberts. I don't know if Robbo ever got reported, but...
No, only had to go to the tribunal 3 times for people having a good go at me, but wasn't that sort of player like you, Derm. St Kilda, I reckon they've had a nervous start in the fact that they just tried to keep possession and they didn't know what to do going into that packed forward line. Amazing the ball and the turnover that they did, though. I reckon they were just nervous and trying to get the ball to each other. A lot of niggle out there, players doing a job. Fremantle frustrated the hell out of St Kilda. It'll be interesting to see what St Kilda do here, whether they do cram their Fremantle forward line with the breeze. It is strong, Derm. I went out there, had a look at it. You can kick good goals on that outer side going to the left of screen.
What about the intensity, Robbo? Because it just seems like St Kilda had the sting taken out of them.
Got to agree with that. They've got to change their attitude to the ball. They've got to go and get it. The Saints, they've just got to go in and win the hard ball. It's simple as that.
Thank you, Robbo. Well, Robbo did have one of those heads most footballers like to punch.
Yeah, what's that about? The goal umpires come darting up to the middle. Now he's going back to the goals. Took something from one of the central umpires, and we're set to go. Aaron Sandilands is out there, looking across the centre circle for Jason Blake, the ruckman.
Looking down at the opposition ruckman.
Going eyeball to Adam's apple.
45 degrees he's looking down at him.
Umpire Kennedy with a football. Hopefully a better second term coming up.
He just needs to let Blake jump early and sail past it.
Opening bounce of the second quarter then. Ruckman missed it, fell at their feet.
Blake will take that, a 0-0 draw in the bounce down. Now, this is what's really going to test Blake, because Sandilands will try and get contact on him, touch and feel, so he can just outstretch him.
Again, umpire Kennedy. Sandilands does well this time, decisively too. Donna McManus, who was dragged down. McWalter hit the ground. In goes ball at close quarters to Clark, who was upended. A bit more endeavour from the Saints apparent in the opening seconds of this term. Going in much harder. They've won the free kick. Voss.
Still 2 loose men in defence for the Dockers, and they're with the breeze.
He drives it down towards right half forward, and Clark, 60 metres from goal, short to the pocket. Fraser Gehrig, well, didn't approach it with a lot of venom that time, and then appeared to throw it. Johnson goes in, was taken high by Gehrig and gets the free kick. So Fraser, initially, his approach to the ball.
Have they got the same menu on the plane each time you come down to Launceston? Because Fraser always gets angry down here. I don't know whether it's the food they serve him or the flight or...
Maybe he swum.
Yeah,
There goes the kick from Fisher, or rather Farmer across the ground. Grover to Johnson. And the mark is taken out there by Carr.
Blaze on immediately, sends a high bomb towards attacking 50. Could be a free against Fisher, not paid. Blake's got it. Pollack had him a little high, and the umpire saw it. He was waiting to see if it was going to be play on advantage, but it wasn't. And it'll be a free kick to Blake.
See what Peter Bell did then. It was after the free kick, but to stop the ball being moved, he put his heel, he stomped the ball while he was lying on the ground, so the St Kilda players couldn't pick it up.
Lenny Hayes gets the call to play on. And now he sends it a little awkwardly towards the outer side. Cut off by Mundy. Gave it to Cook. Late inclusion with Longmuir out of the team. Gave it to Matthew Carr. Got a toe poke on the ball. It was deemed a kick while he was laying on his back. And Del Santo runs away from Mundy. An arrogant bounce. The zigzag run. Sends it high. Fraser Gehrig's down there. He's angry. He's got it.
Can't do that.
Was it downfield or on the kick?
Yeah, it was downfield, but don't take anything away from the mark there. I was excited about the mark. And
I'm not sure it's downfield.
Yeah, it is downfield.
I'm not so sure about it.
That's going back.
Oh, no, that'll make him angrier.
He got that away. And Fraser... Now, Grover walks up to him and says, "You've been dudded."
Uh-oh. Short pass. Voss takes the mark 40 metres directly out. They can't rattle his cage anymore, surely.
Well, if you were in the Dockers' shoes, you'd look at this game to say today and say, if we can match them for intensity, aggression, vigour, hardness at the footy, that's 50, 60, 70% of the job done with the skill they have.
Brett Voss, who broke his jaw against Fremantle last year. Beautiful kick off the boot. He's got it.
That's the scoring end, Dennis. Into the wind.
Seems to be, Derm, against all odds.
Yeah.
And wind.
That was down. Well, that's a good result anyway. Justice was found in the end. Good kick by Brett Voss. He's playing on the back flank as well, up against Des Headland, so he's followed the ball through. Well done.
9 points the margin then. Saints looking more active, favoured by the bounce. Blake had to wait. Sandlands came over the top. Ball is dragged down. Couldn't distribute that one. Over it was Clark. Umpire once more has to come in with a secondary bounce. Seen a lot of that today so far. Sandlands needs to do, if he can, is just thump it wide, get some run going. That's better. Although they don't get onto the football. Clark, Pavlich a half chance, left it behind. Graham, slick hands. McWalter, a lingering tackle, and the umpire has called a free kick, and it's going to Graham behind the play. It's pinned down by Cook. Graham goes out very wide. Revolt hasn't seen much of the football at all. Hard against the boundary line, gets a kick off. It stays in play, pushing up the ground. Maguire paddles it around the line. Mundy steps across. Throw in.
When Del Santo ran away from Mundy, I honestly thought Mundy was a little bit quicker than that. He's no slouch, Del Santo, when he slips himself. He normally coasts, but when he goes, he's got a little turn for 20 or 30.
Shammer could have been pushed in the back. No free kick. And another baller.
Some mismatch of height as well. Parker and Milne. Hayes going head-to-head with Carr. There's the mismatch in height, but once again they open the clearance. So a beautiful palm down by Sandlands, and Del Santo will be the man to get it away from the congestion. And he pokes it towards Fraser Gehrig. and he gets it after the knockdown. Runs, shrugs the tackle, kicks around the body, and that'll make him angrier. He's missed.
Yeah, we've got the tails going back too. That's brilliant.
Signs are better for the Saints. Early going second term. Thornton comes in and drives it almost to midfield. Voss in from the side of the pack, able to punch it away. Ball's got it hurriedly, floats it towards half forward, just reaching in there with Shammer, punches it about 20 metres. In the opposite direction, it's taken by Ball, finds Gearick, 40 metres out, goes with the left boot this time, and this is going to fall in short. The mark is taken by Revolt. It's as though somebody has thrown a switch for the Saints. Different team after quarter time. Revolt, point blank range, puts it through.
Yeah, Thornton got caught worrying about Revolt when the ball was already in flight. It can't change its course where it's going to go to. Revolt does nothing but watch the footy in flight. Thornton's got his eyes on him, and that's why he's secondary to the drop. Never stands a chance.
First goal for Nick Revolt, 13th goal of the year. Born down here in Tasmania. He'd grow up on the Gold Coast. Ball back in the middle. 2 points the margin.
Maguire's in the centre bounce as well as Blake.
Sandlin's off a short run. It was a stalemate. McManus, Mundy, just slipped the kick under the oncoming traffic. Got it towards McFarlane. Couldn't collect it. Ball did, but McFarlane collected him. Sandlin's gets the kick inside 50. Polak's down there. He's knocked it down to Pavlich. He's got 3.
Everybody's got their roles confused there.
Absolutely. Now, I am bewildered. If you've got Blake in the centre bounce, Maguire is in there also. We've seen Maguire and Pavlich have some great battles in the past. Why would you have Graham, well, actually, it's Schwartz now, but Graham's been on him for the last 5 minutes inside forward 50. Why would you have him on Pavlich? Why would you have Maguire in the centre bounce?
And that's the 178th goal for Matthew Pavlich. He equals Clive Waterhouse's club record of 178 for his career.
Clive. Now you're talking. Curiota Clive, if he's watching.
Playing some good footy for Port Adelaide in the SANFL, Dennis.
Blake did brilliantly. Down to Hayes to Ball. It was touched. In front was Voss. Guess what? We'll have another bounce. With all these bounces, of course, one would assume it should be favouring Freo.
With the dominance in height. Well, the bounces away from the centre circle definitely will. There we go. That's
Maguire.
the reason he's in there. The secondary jump up. Okay.
Didn't work though.
No.
McManus goes down towards half forward. Fisher has moved on to Pavlich. This will be interesting. Pavlich has got 3 goals already. Drags Fisher off the football. Interesting. Reached back, got the football initially. Thornton to Pavlich and now Carr. Josh Carr goes inside the forward 50, and that's a good grab by Polak in the hands. Polak, 55 metres out. Nice movement there by Fremantle. Pavlich, the man to go through. Long ball towards full forward. Cook, well, it's dropped there. Cook couldn't get to the contest. Farmer emerges with the football and snaps it back over the left shoulder for a goal. Murray should have marked that one. I think it was Murray.
Just does not miss. Has kicked too many of them in his career to miss like that. And we look at it and say, what a great little goal it was. That is bread and butter for Jeff Farmer. Yeah, Murray should have gobbled it up. You get a bit worried when Sandlands is within 20 metres of goals and the ball is directed to Troy Cook.
All part of the grand plan, there.
Decision errors being made.
Grand plan.
2 goals now for Jeff Farmer. Continues to slide his way up the goal-kicking ladder in the AFL. 12 now for the season. 35 last year, so he's on target to better that. From the ball up, Blake nearly got the takeaway as well as the palm. McManus caught in the tackle, and we'll get a secondary ball up in the middle.
And this is, let's see if it happens again. So we'll try and work this out with St Kilda. The reason Maguire will be in there, he'll try and lock arms or get away from Sandlands, and Maguire over the top.
Blake just took it out of the end, almost threw that out. Well, he did throw it out. He took. It is a bizarre game, and there are some things happening that haven't seen in 100 years of footy, and that's a 50-minute penalty, and it'll be brought within range, you would think.
I think they've been overcoached, these ruckmen today. They've got plan A, plan B.
Well, they're down to Z, unfortunately. Unfortunately
really
for some.
Now, he's off the... How do we put this? As a kick of the footy, he's off the ladies' tees.
Right.
But with this breeze, look, he's still looking around.
That's a bad 50 too.
Yeah,
it was the 45.
Yeah, the square's 50, and he was 20 in from the other end. He's only 5 over it on the mark.
Loads up with a good kick. The breeze catches it, and it might have been caught on the line, has it? Has Pollack been paid? Gets the call to play on, and he twists it around. It's a behind. The confusion reigns, but that behind does count. Here's the 50.
Yeah. He's saying he didn't. The umpire would have been yelling at him, hand it back, hand it back. And he's looked straight ahead of him. There's only one man standing 3 metres in front of him. And he says, which one?
Momentarily, we had 2 balls on the ground. What this game doesn't need is 2 balls. Here's Harvey. Gets it from Fisher. Lead comes from Goddard. Ignored, goes wide. Hayes tracks it towards the line. Dodd right there with him. Just takes it over the line, so it'll be thrown in. Just over 13 minutes till half-time. Fremantle needed their last goal. They've steadied. They lead by 15 points. That was their margin at quarter time. Well done, McManus. Gets it out of there. In trouble, Carr. Hayes eventually somehow got it on the bounce to Harvey, who kicks it beyond the wing. Mundy to his own advantage. Well played. Got the arms free to Carr. Matthew kicks it back inside the forward 50. Hedlund dropped the mark. Graham will soccer. Good bump from McManus. Put him off the line of the football. Gave them a second chance, the Dockers. Going at his 4th goal, Pavlich. Well, the cream is rising to the top.
In a nutshell, what we have right now responsible for this lead is a midfield of the Dockers who are playing a negating game on St Kilda's best players, and they're almost dedicating their midfield into the back line as well, just to stop St Kilda. And it is left to the talented players forward of the ball, especially that man who's given them the 4-goal lead.
3 goals in a row for Fremantle. They're out to their biggest lead of the game, 21 points, and that's a beautiful back palm by Sandlands. Kick out the middle, but good from Dodd.
Fisher back on to Pavlich.
Handball wide to Goddard, just gathers it after the bounce, and he's got some runners. Maguire. Bounce from half-back, it's a Shepherd from Graham. Chips it, hoping for a revolt. 1, 2, not the 3rd grab. Well played by Johnson. Farmer's kick straight up in the air, called play on. Ball. Back to Baker. Del Santo mops up the mess. Heads wide, and Blake's got away. The lead comes from Gehrig. It's out in front. It's got a couple to beat. Grover. Duffield lays a Shepherd on Gehrig. Dangerous stuff in your opening game. And a beautiful kick to Hedlund. He can run the wing. Looks up and sends it long and high. Pollack's about to fly. Oh, McFarlane! Never underestimate him in a marking contest.
Oh, he's a star, this young man. Above head, he's as good as our game of Australian rules has to offer. You know the one thing he always does? He always places the ball directly in front of his eye line. So wherever it is, he'll turn his body in mid-air to make sure that the ball is always marked in front of his face. It's just his copybook above his head.
He's a great contested mark. He's normally a pretty good kicker of the ball as well. And he's only got the one still. It's a behind. 22-point lead. Michael Roberts.
Derm, this is just one for you. You've picked up on what they do in the centre of the ground. Is it my imagination? It's a bit like the old Hawthorn days where they put a heap on the ball down in the back line to try and open up that Fremantle forward line?
Yeah, well, they're just trying to give space. They're playing a 4-man forward line, the Dockers, and they've got enough talent up there with the boys Pollack, McFarlane, and especially Pavlich.
Graham, the short one to Goddard. So the margin out to 22 points now. Upset brewing. Will be the Dockers' first victory down here. Here's Headland, got it from McFarlane, hooks it inside the forward 50, and a strong mark is taken by Fisher, who immediately, aided by the momentum, plays on, goes very wide, but the mark is taken by Bell.
They're not playing it well here, the Saints.
No.
They're not playing it well.
They don't have a great record down here either, do they?
Now 50%, 3 from 6.
Beautiful pass.
Now this is going to go to the goal square here if he wants to.
Pollack across the ground. Oh, that's a terrible kick, and the mark is taken by Blake uncontested. Bit of the Adrian Fletcher's about that face. Off a step. What a great servant he was for the Dockers.
And the Saints.
And Geelong.
And the Bears.
Well, yeah, you got them all now. You got them all?
I'm sure there's
actually he played for both the Bears and the Brisbane Lions,
and I
so that counts as 2.
Yeah, that'll count as 2. Adrian, if you're watching, say present.
And I think he got Collingwood as well.
No, he's coach there.
Okay. Right.
Del Santo emerges with the football, goes across the ground. There's the man as if on cue. Blake just pops it to space. Goddard. What can the Saints manufacture here? Revolt is leading. Johnson set a task, did well, got the ball on the ground. Sliding in was Murray. Crumbs come to Thompson. Johnson claimed him and then bulldogs him down, throwing that left leg over. Some tackles require you to throw the leg, and that was one of them.
Ball just crept inside forward 50 on that occasion for the Saints. Previous to that, the last 6 have belonged to the Fremantle Dockers.
Sandilands again wins the palm down, but nearly they don't get the clearance. Fremantle in the end. Josh Carr did. Got on wide to Shammer. Running the outer side. Good little handball wide by Dodd to Cook. Loads it up long inside 50. McFarlane down there. Gilmore the crumb. McFarlane. Hudson is over it. Gets the handball out to Graham, who almost threw it out to Baker. Dives over it. He's caught, dispossessed. Now he's over it still. Good tackle, Farmer. Hudson tries to get it out. Didn't really want to. Fisher gets the handball out. Ball runs into Goddard. Headland. Murray dives in. It's Headland high. Duffield, the first gamer. Pavlich caught by Lenny Hayes. Still no free kick paid.
It's
Fisher. Wide to Harvey. It's getting more bizarre by the second. And Harvey finds Blake in the centre of the ground.
Plays on. Here's Hayes. Bouncing down towards half forward. Penetrating kick inside the forward 50. Just pitches in front of Fraser Geary, who gets into his move. And out of his shorts. He's in the right pocket. He snaps on the bounce and it goes through from behind.
Oh, it just took me a second then to realise they were flesh-coloured. Thought we were getting...
Meantime, back in the game. I don't like this when it comes in so quickly, Derm. Parker to Gilmore.
You need time to reload.
I want to digest.
Yeah.
There was a lot to digest there as he goes in short to Cook, who left it behind. Speaking of digesting, Cook battles on, takes Fisher down, and the umpire will move in and bounce it. So much going on in so little time here in Launceston. Umpire Kennedy to bounce. Everyone comes from everywhere. The contest there. Gilmore falling to the ground. We have some unconventional ruck play. Harvey. Yes, Mundy's got it now. Goes to half forward. McFarlane's in front. Juggled attempt to the mark. Still he goes. He was tackled pretty early. Baker comes through. Well played. Steps around Shammer. Has the bounce. He's on the wing. Tries to be a little too cute. They've got Revolt in the pincer movement. He couldn't hang on. 3 of them came at him from varying directions. Black gave it back to Mundy. Dodd was taken high, and that was rather crude. Johnson goes to Cook meantime to Black.
This is home.
55 metres out. Black at his 150th hangs it out to the left.
Gee, that was quick ball movement. So that passage of play there, even though it resulted in a point, St Kilda haven't moved the ball that quickly yet. That's keeping your eye on the footy. Goose
Watch
McGuire.
McFarlane here again. He's like, oh, well, we didn't see it.
It's hit him in the head.
Yes, bit going on.
Got up. The ball caught. Good tackle. But it wasn't good enough by Heath Black. The wobbly kick towards half forward. Revolt couldn't take the mark. Lenny Hayes caught by Duffield, the first gamer, brought him down and will get rewarded for the tackle.
Now have a look at this. Even after the play, Thornton takes Schwartz down. The Freo team today have obviously set themselves a charter, out-tackle St Kilda and will win this game.
Duffield to Dodd. Now the umpires bring it back. What is it about Stephen Dodd? He was hit by Brett Burton last week. He was struck by Brendan Goddard last year when these two teams met. Goddard getting a reprimand.
I think you explained it to him when you said about Robbo having that face that people want to smack. Dottie's got the same thing.
We love Robbo, though.
Oh, well, I'm sure Dottie's terrific.
Of course, Brett Burton missing a couple of weeks
This
because
quarter,
of it.
tackles, Fremantle, 19 tackles in this quarter already.
Duffield to Johnson to Black, and he's held up on the wing.
Heath Black, a golden opportunity moments ago from long range. Normally a very good kick. This is a penetrating kick. McFarlane hands to it, couldn't hang on. Blake got the crumb, kicks it up towards the wing, coming to meet a Parker. Yes, it was a good bounce for Fisher. Turns the defence around. Now a real job for Thornton. He's one out here. Fights a draw, and that's good enough initially. Clever by Revolt. Put it on the boot and got it across to Fisher. It was a hot potato. He gave it to Schwartz, who's tackled immediately and taken to the ground by Duffield, who's been impressive on debut.
Here's that whack.
No, he pulled away from it. Just got in the fleshy. Oh, it's inconclusive whether they actually made contact.
That is the word, inconclusive. It's out of bounds.
Their tackling has been superb, the Dockers. And this would be... Now have a look. Yeah, he pulls it away. Don't you think?
Hard to tell from that angle, Derm. As you said, inconclusive. Ball kicks it towards Schwartz. Thompson, McWalter wobbles it inside 50. Grover was there, gave it to Parker, chips it wide. Will it sit for Black? Harvey pursues. Black slips, caught, got it. Harvey's got him. Fiora. Bell dived on Fiora. How will the umpire read it? He says ball up. Just outside 50 for the Saints. Luke Ball hasn't had a good season so far, but 9 disposals this quarter. So hopefully getting back into a bit of form.
There's no chance about this. The Dockers thoroughly deserve this lead of 4 goals.
Josh Carter, Matthew Carr kept it just inside the line. High bomb towards half forward. Hudson down there with Maguire. They mess it up between them. Maguire corralled by Pavlich. Kick misses Goddard. Matthew Carr. Headland shrugs Lenny Hayes. Slips a shortish pass inside 50. Pavlich dragged down. He did have it. Hudson's got it. Gives it towards Blake. Now a chance for Gilmore. Headland shrugs the tackle. Half a throw. Finds ball. Back to Graham.
No one to go to.
So he gives it to Blake, who's about to get run down. Gets the kick to the midfield, as you said. No one there, Derm. And the Dockers can reload. Polak gives it to Johnson.
Young man who's been most impressive.
The thing I liked about him before, and it sounds funny, but he's got exceptionally long arms. He just gets the spoil from nowhere.
Shammer drives it down towards the attacking 50. Punch back almost as far as Shammer. Thornton, a hand pass over his shoulder. Montagna a little bit slow to release it. Ball in trouble. Taken down. Montagna back into the fray. Great tackle from behind by Gilmore. Advantages paid. It was a tight advantage. Headland miscues with the kick. Farmer gets there. Takes it out of the hands of his opponent Blake. Wheels around. Snaps. He's kicked his third. Well done by Jeff Farmer.
Well, the game's elevated now. There is no doubt about that, and it is due to how long have the Dockers been in the competition?
95, wasn't it?
95, I think it was. This is just about the best tackling exhibition I've seen them ever put on. Think of how many tackles in the lead up to that Farmer goal. There'd have been half a dozen in about 45 seconds.
So we're breaking new ground.
Oh, absolutely.
So the Dockers have added some spice to this contest. They have really lifted it a gear. 9-5 plays 4-7. Question being asked of the Saints now. Blake, he wins it against Polak. Down to ball. Harvey gets himself out of trouble. It was play on advantage. Gave to Hayes. They need something from Gehrig. He comes and he gives it. And Fraser will line up from directly out.
Now, I'll be really critical here on the young boy Mundy. He's a good kid. I like the way he plays. If you want to make a name amongst yourselves and make your teammates love you, and I mean love you as a player forever and a day, and it takes all the courage in the world, if he had backed into it, his teammates would love him forever.
Fraser Gehrig gets a bit of swing on it.
So
Well, he's slotted it for his second.
you're saying they don't love Mondays?
Well, you have a look at it.
Tell us why, Dan.
Well, if he backs into it, Fraser doesn't take the mark, and there's no goal. And his teammates would start to think of him, maybe not like Glenn Archer, but they'll think this kid will always go for us. Now, that angle is not conclusive. There's that word. Does not fully illustrate that he could have actually got in the path of Fraser then. Well done, Fraser, too.
Fraser Gehrig 2 goals, 21 in the last 6 games against Fremantle coming in, including 5 round 8 of 2003. Rucks go at it, knocked down by Sandilands. Thompson falling to the ground, got it to Goddard, spirals one inside the forward 50. Improvisation by Johnson. He went with the casual leg there, gathered by Shammer. Dug it out to Duffield, to Dodd, over the top, a chance for the Dockers. Black, long range, sends it down towards full forward. Pavlich was up, lurking behind. It's Farmer, and it's going to be a free kick to Pavlich.
What's he loading up for 5 now?
5, a lazy 5 to half-time.
Yeah, the player coming with the flight of the ball on the 45. Watch the hand chop across here.
And not looking at the ball.
Yeah.
So Pavlich has been the dominant player on the ground without question. He had one of these halves against Adelaide.
Yep.
At Amy last year.
Well, the second half,
unstoppable.
Yep, he's the right body size, shape, endurance, pace that he's in this mood, this space. He's almost impossible to match up on.
Pavlich directly in front, has 5 and restores Fremantle's big lead.
The Fremantle are the #1 short kicking team in the comp, the #1 uncontested marking team in the comp, and you get a 1-on-2 here. And Matty appeals for it, make sure the umpire Hayden Kennedy knows it's legitimate. The arm's taken away. Hudson never saw it, but that kick's come from 60, 65 from Heath Black in a beautiful, beautiful delivery, which puts the defenders under so much pressure they cough up a free kick.
So after kicking 4 goals against the Saints in that 5-point win the Dockers had in round 21 last year, he's loaded up with 5 in the first half here. 2 minutes to half-time. And they get a free kick in the middle, Thompson. He's got Goddard out wide, hits him with the pass, he can run. Just took a backward step before he realised Harvey was there for him. Ball bounced kindly for Harvey, slips the pass to Revolt.
Tough pocket, Robbo.
It's very tough, Derm, and I reckon if he does go for it, he does have to go that inside the right post, or even at the right post and bring it around, but he's chipped out to Goddard.
Back to Goddard, and he chips it inboard. Nice pass, Xavier Clark.
Now, the man on the mark is one of only 2 Dockers outside defensive 50. So there's going to be no room for a lead, so it's going to have to be a bomb up and hopefully pick something out here.
The earlier bomb from Revolt would have been far better, wouldn't it?
Yep.
Maguire doesn't really want to bomb it. No choice now. And Revolt's got 4 to beat. Impossible odds. Shammer, Crum, Parker into trouble. Oh, he's dished it up to Blake. It worked out in the end. He may have slotted the goal. He has.
Bonus.
He's got 2.
An absolute bonus. Yeah, coughed it up under pressure. It is grab it on you out of the air, whichever way you get it, and throw it on your boot. You know it's going to come back, but you've got so many numbers back there. You probably win 7 out of 10, 8 out of 10 every time it comes in.
Well, they put their faith in Blake today. They decided not to go with Kane Ackland. Barry Brooks is their other ruckman. They both got injured in the Saints reserves yesterday. Barry Brooks tore a hamstring, and Kane Ackland was taken to hospital. He dislocated his finger. So it's Blake or nothing for the next week or 2.
And the script has been going. St Kilda, Pavlich. St Kilda, Pavlich.
That's better. Although didn't work out too well. Del Santo got it from Sandilands. Across the ground goes Goddard. He got it from Fisher. And Del Santo takes the mark. Time for one final thrust here from the Saints. They've been very disappointing so far. Blake, just a little chip. Montaña's got it. Now he is about 80 metres from goal. This is the time to take it in there. Gearig indicating he wants it long. Gee, that requires a long kick. It won't get to Gearig. Revolt battles against two. It spills wide of the pack. Taken by Bell. And the danger may have passed. Crowley taking some time off the clock, close to the boundary. Bounces it out to Blake. You can see the time remaining. Clark now with the football. And I think we've seen the final action for what's been a forgettable first half. Half time. Il solito posto. So, start of the second half. 10-5, 6-7. Fremantle very good, certainly, by comparison to the Saints in the first half. Hayes at close quarters. Del Santo gave it to a teammate in Harvey. Pops it over the top. This is Ball. Long kick inside the forward 50. Ill directed. Mundy goes up. Uncontested. Takes the mark. Little short one. Just inside the centre square.
It's important that that first kick comes somewhere up the centre, because the second one will always go wider. And if you go wider on the first one, Dennis, it will go around the boundary for the whole way. Predictable.
Headland did well to Carr. Matthew around the corner. Josh Carr now paddles it to his own advantage. Will need to check his right side, and it's not good enough.
That's a let off for the Saints there.
Yep. Very strong on his left foot, not so good on his right. Peter Bell 16 possessions now for the Dockers, and it's raced in by the Saints. Hudson to Harvey along the boundary line to Fiora.
Not so much when you work with the wind, but when you're working against the wind, if you hit the boundary line too soon, you tend to bring the ball the whole length of the ground, if you can, along that boundary. That's predictable.
Fisher, who had the most kicks for the Saints last week, hit Goddard on the run, who dropped it on the wing, comes back inboard to Fiora. Late inclusion with Hamill, the late exclusion for the Saints. Kick not good. Smothered off the beautifully by Pavlich, who's having a great game. Carr to Bell, and now wide to Black. They're building again on the rebound.
That's a great kick.
Nice kick to Headland.
His foot skills have been wonderful today, Heathbake.
Chip kick and thumped away from McFarlane. Might get another go, Headland. McFarlane follows it up. Gives it to Bell. Tries to run away from Lenny Hayes. Inside 50. High ball. Off hands Polak. And they'll mop it up the Saints. Fisher into trouble. Gets away from Farmer. Hudson. Fisher. And now McWalter at half-back for St Kilda.
Settles it down, at least momentarily. Fiora. A lot of touches to open the second half. Looks towards half forward. Normally a long kick. This is no exception, and a good one. They travelled all of 60 and spot on target. Revolt's got it. Man on the mark is right on the 50. Up ahead Fraser Gearig with Grover. Fraser's got 2 so far. And Revolt decides he will take a shot at goal. And why not? It's kicking on the breeze. Well held so far. Right behind this kick. He starts it right. It's bending back nicely. Has it got the carry? Not quite. Sandilands.
Probably only one man in the league who could have touched that.
Yes. His ruck work at times disappointing in the first half, but there, that was terrific. Got a hand to it, played it against the post as the kick comes in. Reduced to the role of a spoiler. Initially was Josh Carr. Follows up, gives it to Thornton. They'll work it away. Crowley to Bell on the dash.
Fiora chases him down. Forces him to turn it over to Goddard. So on the rebound, the Saints have got loose numbers. Goddard sends it long. Gearig won't get there. Has the bounce. It was an unfavourable bounce. And getting back Mundy. Central ball. Sandilands takes the mark at centre half back.
Gee, that is as poor a kick as Peter Bell's unloaded in his career, that last one forward.
Wide to Thornton. Loops a little handball over the top. They're just messing with it. Black back to Thornton. They get out of trouble. Thornton chips the kick. Hudson flies. Big thump down. And they might rebound it again. Fisher to Hayes. Spare man Goddard. Can he hit a target this time with the kick forward? Revolt leads. Thinks about coming inboard. Waits and waits himself into trouble. Montagna twists into trouble. All the way back to Hudson. Polak tries to shut him down. He's about to get caught. Did get pushed on the ball. McFarlane to Bell.
Has to hold it up, nothing ahead. He'll wait for Shammer to run forward.
Head chips it to Shammer, who ran forward, Derm.
That's a beautiful kick. That is a magnificent kick. Weighted on it and then just put a beautiful weight on the ball for him to run into. Now they've got players forward, they've got targets.
Headland, forward of the wing, is back. Thornton.
They're a lot more composed than St Kilda when they go forward. I know this is very slow and it's given St Kilda a chance to get 16 men behind the ball, but there's no panic with Fremantle when they go forward with the pill.
Headland again. Goes forward this time to Dodd, marginally forward. He goes back to Parker.
Space out wide, though.
Yeah, Parker, the leading Pavlich. He's bid at 5 goals this afternoon. Men on the mark just outside the 50. Into the breeze. He's too far out.
Pollock's got a bit of room here.
That's an intelligent kick. Pollack coming across on the angle. Won't get there. It just drifted away on the breeze from him and found Goddard instead, who pops it back to the wing. Parker leads in the race. Murray is closing. Parker over the shoulder to nobody. Gathered by Harvey. Man on in the middle. Goes to Fiora. Fiora runs on. He's 60 metres from goal. Thinks about giving it to Montagna. Now he does, but it was too late. Taken by Thornton. Montagna did well to tackle him. Sandilands gave it to Shammer. Across it comes to Grover. Grover finds Dodd. So the danger passed. Short one to Pavlich. Half volley. No. He marked it. And 50, is it? No. He's just calling the man back on the mark. He comes back obligingly. He came back 15 when he needed to come back 5.
Much more composed.
Have to overcorrect, though, when you're in trouble.
That's right.
Dennis, when you think you got 50 against you, just an overcorrection might sway it back in your favour. Crowley back to Pavlich. Takes the mark.
This is intriguing to see how the Doctors go about this now. It's not pretty footy, Dwayne, but they're just possessing it.
Well, you said they're composed. They're composed because they're 22 points up and kicking against the breeze.
Yep. And they can afford this luxury of taking the best selection.
Parker.
And there's room out this side for a 45, 50-metre kick.
Fremantle Games record holder sends it inside 50 and Fisher makes a good strong mark. Graham. And now the Saints are away on the rebound. Harvey back to Graham. And once again the pressure forces St Kilda backwards. Chip kick to Blake. Most kicks for the Saints, or possessions for the Saints in the opening half. Goes to Maguire. Had an arm pushed. And he'll line up and he might be able to kick it from here. He's going to be just outside 50. 54 from goal. Breeze behind him. If he really gives it a hoik, starts it right, it might feed back.
Here's a good long kick. I would think from here probably only one man on the ground, and that would be Black. Might be able to get this. Oh no, he's going to get it.
He loads up from inside the centre square, and he's missed the behind, but distance wasn't the worry.
He's 65 metres or 60 metres to the line, and then he's got a 7-footer standing on the line that's gone over his head. Pavlich off, Cook on.
Mundy takes the mark. Pavlich off. There's Thornton on the wing.
Breather. That's to throw them into confusion.
I'm confused. I'm not playing. He goes out wide, and the mark is taken by Josh Carr.
Why wouldn't you give him the breather at full forward, Derm?
Yes.
Grade 5.
Yeah, you think so.
Mark taken by Headland. On the dash, swings around, kicks it inside the forward 50. Hudson favoured by the kick. Contest given by McFarlane. Yes, falls to Farmer, goes with the outside of the boot. Wide of the mark, and not a bad result for Fremantle. Bounced into the behind post, so boundary throw in. Farmer's booted 3 goals and been dangerous.
Maxie Hodgson, I reckon, has done something serious to his hand here, on the wrist. Let's have a watch of left hand when he falls. Gets stood on, or...
Headland, meantime, at the back of the pack after the boundary throw-in, slots the goal. What are those Dockers?
Oh, the interest is with Max Hodgson. Oh, yeah. Look at that. That's come up a treat, hasn't it? Let's have a look at this one again. Beautifully fed out the back there, and I'm pretty impressed with Des Headland's game today. He's chased hard, he's led up hard, and he's run forward with the fly to the ball very hard. That is some serious swelling coming up on the back of Max Hodgson's hand. Maxie Hodgson, it's a serious swelling come up on the back of his hand there, Dwayne. We've got to look at it before.
You hope it's just a broken blood vessel rather than a broken bone, but he is in trouble, Max.
He knew straight away.
Yep.
He put the hand up, the other hand, and said, come out and get me.
That's some experience.
That's bad luck here. It was knocked out here about a year or so ago.
Yeah.
Chris Grant.
Yep, although it doesn't narrow it down when you say a ground match Hoston's been hurt on. He does.
Been hurt on all of them.
Yeah, but he puts his body on the line. And the ball up. Sandilands with the reach. With a handball out. Black had to chase it down. Parker, he shrugged the tackle. Now, will the umpire allow this? Is it actually an advantage? No.
That's good umpiring. That's an umpire who's played a bit of footy himself and knows the sport and recognised that even though they had possession, they were no better advantage by playing on then.
Parker inboard to Black. They're in trouble, the Saints. They've got the breeze in this third term. Time's ticking away, and they trail.
And the Dockers are taking the sting out of St Kilda and their scoring potential time by just chipping the ball around.
Thornton to Johnson to Black. And to Schwartz, who, of course, plays for the Saints and takes a saving mark at half-back.
Still a good kick. It's just that Schwartz read it was going to another player, and he just intercepted it. It was a good kick off the boot, though.
Short, Fisher, deep in his own defensive area. Half-distance kick, Del Santo, so they've had to restructure at the back with Hodgson off. Del Santo up towards the wing. Montagna decides to go on. Sweeping hand pass. Harvey getting busy. Forward of the wing, then kicks inside the forward 50. Nice kick too. Ball is marked 52 metres out. But the pre-season premiership favourites in real trouble here. Ball, Bacon square, sets it up, getting back down there and taking a good grab. Johnson, he was going, but the call had not come. Oh, phrase. Mouth guard was half in when Fraser decided he was going to go after Grover. Now a headlock on Mundy, and he's completely losing it, Fraser. He will fight anybody down there. This is silly by the veteran.
There's a bit of frustration boiling over here.
So a double 50. And now they'll have a shot at goal.
Well, you've got to get him off the ground, don't you? Can't have that. I mean, suddenly Johnson is down at the other end of the ground, kicking from 30 metres out. And rightly so. We saw Fraser just lose it.
That's a double 50, is it?
Well, it's either a double or a triple.
Very well, or a generous 50.
Yeah.
So the headlock, the second time.
I'm not sure. They did. They did
more
tease
than
him.
one.
They teased him.
Johnson comes in and kicks the goal. He should gallop back to Fraser.
He's going to get another free kick here. He's grabbed him by the throat. He's going to get another free kick. The Dockers will get a free kick in the centre of the ground. Fraser grabbed him by the throat.
Oh, this is too good to miss.
Oh, we're not back yet. Well, we are kind of back.
I feel sorry for the runner. He's got to tell him that he's coming off.
Oh, he'll get grabbed by the throat, no question. Oh, dear.
It's all happening here at Aurora. It was a double 50 against Fraser.
Or a triple.
Yeah, a triple. They kicked the goal. And when it was coming back to the centre, that's what transpired. So the umpire has said, cop another free kick. So a free kick without a contest.
And news has filtered up from the bench, the St Kilda bench. The runner has resigned. He's not going out to Fraser.
Maguire's got it. I'd say they have to leave Gehrig out there. They have to try and win the game now.
No, you don't.
Well, they have to try and get him to channel his anger into getting the ball. Goddard to Harvey.
Yeah, and I want to pick you up, Dwayne. You said, but they tease him.
They did. They were nasty, Durham. Kick wide and it's out of play and we'll get a ball in.
That from a Port Adelaide
They
man.
were downright nasty.
They were. They called him stuff.
I'd leave him out there too. Hang on, the runner's going out there now. Don't take him off. Don't tell they're going to take him off.
They are.
And Craig
They have to
Starcevich.
take him
Well,
off.
it's the ultimate indignity, really, to have him. He's the only avenue to victory, even though he might have cost them any chance of it with his indiscretions. The kick, Sandilands, he's got the two little boys to beat. Dish up from Murray Good to Goddard. He goes to Del Santo. They haven't got Gehrig down there to give it to, so they're just messing around with it. Baker, Del Santo, Graham. So Gehrig's not there at the moment, so they mess around in the midfield. Maguire. Maybe he can be sent forward, but Hodgson's off as well. So they're a big man down in defence. Murray takes the mark outside 50 and Fraser sits. Back to Fiora.
I thought we'd have a shattered perspex back to that.
Big mark from Grover, and Revolt looks like he's hurt.
I'm glad the flowers aren't there.
Gee, it's unravelling. Well, at least he could sit down and smell the roses.
We would have had a reenactment of Bill Murray out of Caddyshack.
Was there some chamomile in there, maybe? That's what he needs.
Get him
Sandilands like a rover to Mundy. But it's a throw. And the ball is going to Voss. So plenty happening. He goes in short. Thornton with courage goes back and takes the mark. And through all this, Fremantle are grinning. 12-6, 6-9. Gehrig off the ground for disciplinary reasons. Hodgson off the ground through injury. So their goal-to-goal line in disarray at the moment. Here's Polak and their team, ditto. This has been terrible by St Kilda.
Well, they didn't come out with the right endeavour either. I mean, they still could feasibly win this. How long have we got to go in this quarter? We've still got some time here where they could get a couple in.
Revolt's coming off now.
Oh, no.
Here's Johnson, and Milne is on. The logical replacement for the two big men on the forward line. You've got the breeze. Is Gehrig okay? It's going, I think, across to console Fraser. Meantime, Fremantle just do what they do.
And they just keep running the clock down here now.
Bearing in mind, we're a little short by about 8 minutes from three-quarter time. If the clock is there, run it down. Well done by that man coming up the ground, Bell. Duffield liked his game. Hand passes over the top. Opportunity in close for McWalter. Taken front on. That ball wedged in there. And we'll have a bounce.
Maxie Hodgson, his hand. If you're a bit queasy, look away now. It just makes you want to go to the doctor and say, just draw that out for us. Well, it just does not look right on top there.
Goddard ducked into the tackle. Xavier Clark wide to Harvey. Maybe the general can get something going. That kick lucky to travel to 15. Handball good from Voss to Ball. Over the top to Fiora. Runs into trouble. Gets the handball to Schwarz, who's quick but not quick enough.
No awareness.
Hayes from outside 50. Milne's the man on the forward line now. And the little man rolls it through. He could be the one.
Fastest rope.
Well, you know what? Perhaps it could work. Because on windy days, the tall players find it hard to glove the thing and mark it. So it does come to ground a bit more. You need a target.
Almost need to roll it inside 50 for him, don't you?
Just end over end. What about the old saying, back to front, a good little man will always beat a good big man on a windy day? I made a new one.
The second touch, his first goal. Stephen Milne under Grant Thomas. 12 goals against Fremantle, including 2 hauls of 3.
Oh, good tackle.
Yes, the ball jarred out of there. Del Santo eventually. Blake. Now Hayes, 60 metres out, goes long down towards full forward. It's another one!
Holding. It's not going to count.
Wow. That's a big call.
The bigger body, he's not able to. No, that's a let-go decision, that one.
So you think it was right or wrong, Bill?
No, wrong. He hooked onto it. Grover hooked onto him as he was falling away and accentuated the movement.
Some of the stuff you see on the goal line, I mean, that makes a mockery of what we saw then. There's Shammer. Problem is, on this ground, quite often, it's 2 men out on an island in the goal square. Parker, could have been taken high by Montagna.
He's in trouble.
Yes, that's holding the ball.
Now, Stevie Milne is one of the most accurate kicks for goal you'll ever see. Is Montagna the second man in get it, or Milne? Not a long kick, though.
He plays on, and the man came at him and suddenly had to hoist it high down towards full forward. It'll be a free kick against Fremantle down there. Wow.
Oh, come on, make a game of it, Bossy. You must kick this. This is such an important kick.
I thought Parker was stiff across half back. Was that high? Doesn't matter. Once he was not paid that free kick, he was gone for holding it. Now Voss plumb lining it. Very important kick, this one. 12-6, 7-9 for the Saints. 8 goals. They've got them now.
Crusaders are on a mini roll now. Excellent. We can say we've got the game on again. Dockers trying to take the steam out of it in this third quarter, but even look at that. You've got a half-back flanker surrounded by 3 Dockers, and he marks the ball on the line. Well, you'd have to say this is a good coaching move by Grant Thomas. He's taken his 2 keys off, and the little blokes are doing the damage.
Brett Voss, second goal might help wake them from their nightmare, St Kilda. Had his own nightmare last week when he was on Josh Marnie. Brett Voss. And the Saints with the breeze for another 5 minutes in this third term, and we'll get a secondary ball up.
Let's have a look at this forward line. McWalter, and we also have Schwartz at half forward, and the full forward line is only 4-man forward line is Voss and Milne.
Fair bench that. Revolt, who's injured, Hudson, who's injured, and Gehrig, who's cooling. And need a fridge. It's 8 degrees here and he's still hot.
I want him back on.
Ball up. Ball slipped out of the pack beautifully. 2 black from Polak. Bell sends it in the car direction. Coming hard, Goddard. Knocked it clear. Good tackle late on Carr. Slum by Goddard. No free kick either way. Umpire might sort it out with a bounce. He will. We'll get a ball up.
It'll be interesting to see how the club views what Gehrig did. I mean, that in some cases is almost career-ending, I think. Complete lack of discipline.
Oof.
Knocked down by Blake.
Oh, no. Blaine thinks he's all right. He was teased.
Down goes Carr. It's his only defence. Del Santo over the shoulder. Now, Baker hard against the boundary line. Sends it high towards the wing. Reaching over the top, Shammer punched it away. It's going to be a free kick, and it's going to Murray. Murray on the outer side. Shammer making the point. He did make contact with the ball, but one arm was over the shoulder, apparently.
It's on behind play as well. And 50-minute penalty.
Del Santo.
And Crowley. Not going to let that leg go no matter what.
Oh, that might turn it back over. They've got a shot at goal. Goddard decided to knock him over.
Murray is the
Stott again, who everybody likes to hit.
This game has, and I think I used the analogy the other night, but this is more like it. It's like the end of a Who concert. It's just chaos.
He's done it again.
Plays on and chips it. So the mark to Voss, chips it to Milne, and he'll have a shot.
The same 2 small forwards involved in the last 3 potent forward thrusts.
Kicked 2-2 last week, Stephen Milne, and he's been a live wire up there since coming on, replacing Fraser Gehrig, and he kicks it, and they're not out of it.
Well, this is extraordinary, isn't it? Back to the quarter-time margin now. One of the Coleman medalist is off the former Coleman medalist is off the ground. One of the truly great current half forwards is off the ground. You got your Randy Newman forward line for you, Dennis. They make a comeback.
It's one of those things, Derm, when you watch Fremantle, you've got to suspend belief. Only Fremantle, I'm not saying they're going to lose, but could lose by driving all the opposition stars off the ground. Blake hooks it down behind. Hayes is tackled. Whistle. The umpire will have it again. They've been getting the free kicks lately, the Saints as well, something they didn't do in the first half, but their application has been better. And I think they feel buoyed by the fact they've got something to go to on the forward line. Cook puts the body in, going nowhere. 2:52 remaining. Till 3/4 time.
One of the things that Freo have dropped off, that short possession game, which is a pretty easy game to play as long as they make the right selections. It's dropped off their intensity as well. They've only laid 4 tackles this quarter as compared to 20-something in the second.
Crawling after that ball, Murray. He's got it. Black's got him. Now Gilmore, who is a long kick. forced to go on his right side, feeds it back. A couple of Dockers collide. Out of it comes Cook. Cook gets a hand pass away. Opportunity now for Crowley. Boots a ball, and that was good enough. It wanders towards the boundary line. Headland is there. Pavlich, still Pavlich, taken across the line, and that's a good result as far as the Dockers are concerned.
I don't know which one you're going to align with it, but the St Kilda resurgence coincided with two things: the two star forwards coming off and Pavlich coming off for Fremantle.
Xavier Clark went in hard. He wasn't tackled high, and the umpire will sort it out with a bounce. Yeah, Pavlich, 5 goals in the first half and hasn't kicked one in this third term.
Durham made the point, send him to full forward. It was a huge one.
Dwayno made the point.
You can give it to Durham if you like.
No, that's Dwayno's.
Give him nothing.
No.
Baker.
Take me nowhere.
Slips the handle to Fiora, runs himself out of trouble. Now Schwartz has got a couple to beat Cup in the boundary umpire. It's out of bounds on the full.
Mikey Roberts almost got his first possession. How long ago did he retire? 10 years ago? Almost got his first possession in 15 years.
I think he's got the boots on today on that turf as well.
He's got them down
Duffield
there.
to Johnson, to Grover, through midfield. Headland leads a long way from goal, though. He's outnumbered out there as well, but stayed on his feet. The superior balance close to the boundary line. Oh, beautiful kick. It was intended for that man all the way, McFarlane. So maybe McFarlane can go back and kick a goal here and really stop the Saints in their tracks, because they're threatening the Saints with that small forward line. They've been quite explosive down there in the last 10 minutes. McFarlane has 1 goal. He's kicking from only 20 metres out. In characteristic fashion, he's jabbed at it and pulled it.
He's not a great kick. Early on in the game, when he dished off one to Pavlich, who went past, I was about to say he knows his limitations. He would have been uncomfortable with that kick from that side of the ground.
It's not a convincing style, is it? He really does jab at the ball and try and keep it low. Now, the breeze isn't such a factor. You've got to do that.
Yeah, but he actually took it into his mind. He tried to punch it underneath any breeze whatsoever, rather than just kick the true kick that was required.
Graham got it from Goddard, gave it to Montagna. Runs away from Headland, kicks long. Voss down there, Grover with him. Well played, Grover to Johnson. He keeps it alive to Mundy. Montagna's got him. Got the handball away just in time. Dodd, Headland, caught, dispossessed. McWalter thrown out of it. And Dodd makes amends, picks it up, but handball straight to McGuire.
Saints tackling has stepped up in the last few minutes.
Sends a torpedo inside 50. Thump from Thornton, got it down to Johnson. They've been good back there. Duffield, the first game wide to Mundy. Chips it to Matthew Coward. He can hold it up.
Yep, Dockers are loaded up, really loaded up now in the defensive side of the ground. So they'll possess this and run the clock down.
It's Mundy again, yes. Interesting the point you made there, Dim. I mean, tackling, chasing and talking is all about want to, isn't it?
Absolutely. It has nothing to do with your ability that sets you into the AFL. I mean, ability gets you to the AFL, but so often, even at this level, it's all about desire and attitude.
There's Thornton on the wing as the clock runs out on the 3rd term. And Fremantle will rue that last term because, gee, they skipped away to about a 6-goal lead halfway through it. Good players came off for the Saints. One who had to come off, in my opinion, Fraser Gehrig, who completely lost it. And we saw at least 2, maybe 3 50-metre penalties. But for all of that, what he did on the forward line, Grant Thomas, has put St Kilda back into this game on Sunday football. The margin just 16 points now.
And at 3/4 time here in Launceston, it's Fremantle by 16 points.
Indeed, 16 points here on Sunday football for the Dockers, and they had the sting taken out of their game a little bit in the 3rd quarter. Fraser coming to the bench now at the siren for 3/4 time. Grant went over to him. He's had a little word to him. Fraser's had 3 free kicks against him, and we probably have to wait for the umpires' scorecards to come in to know how many 50-metre penalties he's had against him. But well, we don't know whether it's 2, 3, or whether there was another one.
Sort of thing?
Oh, well, they'd be able to tell us, but it's great fun calling when he's playing in this mood. I know that. It's a ride every time. Let's go down to Robbo.
Thanks, Derm. And Sean McManus, a bit of an update there. He's in his tracksuit run, has done a hamstring. No more this afternoon. Sean McManus Maxie Hutchton in a lot of pain, taking some painkillers. Ash Gray he was in the face. The Doc Stone said that he's probably got a break in that hand. They're going to have it scanned, but as you know, it blew up like a golf ball. Interesting to note, as you said, Fraser Gehrig still cooling on the bench.
79 to 63. Poor bounce to start it. Tall Sandilands couldn't get near it, and they get the clearance to Dockers. Dodd inside 50. Pavlich, the hot man of the afternoon. Ball comes out to Graham. Pavlich couldn't get near it then. Might get near it now. Gets on the end of the ball, handball, and he's slotted it. Pavlich has 6.
Well, that is a beautiful shot at goal on snap, because it can swing so far over that distance. But once again, pressure, tackle, and a tackle coughs it up. In the third quarter, they lost a little bit of their unique drive and style that they had in the second quarter with that possession game. They went from 23 tackles in the second quarter to 9 in the third, but they've come out full of fire again.
Wonderful skill, Matthew Pavlich. Hooking it back for a goal. Up goes Blake. Only as far as Dodd. High ball, still inside the centre square. Coming back was Harvey. It fell in front of him. Away to ball. Gets through. Not much pressure on him. To Hayes. Forward of the wing. Looks inside the forward 50. This will touch down ahead of Voss. We've got a whistle.
In the kick.
It's coming back to Hayes. Got a very good point too, Derm, about intensity. And Fremantle's style, when they were chipping it around, it does take the intensity out of players, doesn't it? It becomes too easy, too soft.
Tackling is such a great yardstick for just estimating or getting a handle on how intense you are at the opposition at the footy. And they dropped by more than half their tackles in that when they played that chip style.
There goes the kick from Revolt.
They'll get marked.
Yes, in front, Voss. Well, Voss and Milne, unlikely pairing up forward, but Voss is a good aerialist who belies his size, that time a chess mark.
He's reading it now already, and Anthony Grover was watching him for that first couple of yards.
Quite often, too, Grover would have set himself all week for Fraser Gehrig. It can be a little disconcerting when you carry out what was the primary task.
Yep. And somebody else comes on. Yep,
that's
and
right.
Whole different game style to combat.
Your mind is in celebration mode from Fraser having left the scene. Here's Voss, and he comes, and I think he's missed. We're off the hook. But then again, we saw McFarlane late in that third term miss one at this end as well. Shammer wasting no time, umpire still waving, and Johnson's got the football.
Michael Johnson, 11 games in his rookie season last year after no games in 2004. Been pretty good back there. So is Duffield. In his opening game, he's been good as well.
He's a good kid, isn't he? He tackles hard. He's had a real dig at them when the opposition have carried the ball.
He's a rookie list elevation, Paul Duffield. His second chance with the Dockers. They rookied him a couple of years ago. He was dropped, and they rookied him again, and now he's on the senior list playing some good footy. Sandilands.
There's room out on this wing. Sandilands would be thinking, I'd prefer to handball this.
And Duffield's got the job on Milne too, I think, in this final term. So a big job for the first gamer. Sandilands heads wide.
All right.
He waited, and Crowley presented for him. He runs away from Harvey. Chips the kick. Goddard, a little push on Gilmore was good. Goddard's got it. Takes his time all the way back to Xavier Clark. Wobbles it back in the direction of Voss, who dives and has played the mark.
You know what he's doing that they're struggling to combat now? He's the full forward who's running up to meet the ball carrier. Fraser was trying to stay in and push and shove and occasionally make a lead when he thought it suited at best.
Voss told to play on now. It seems Parker may have switched to him.
Now go.
Schwarz to Fisher. Forced to hold up. Back towards the middle and ball. And again, not many options. Montagna offers. You can see Ball's dilemma. Hanging onto the footy. Now he sets it up. A high ball to Milne. Well, you worry about that, but he's got the footy around the body. This will bend left to right. Too early and too sharply, and taken across the line by Sandilands, so behind. But how about that? After all of that, you go in the air to Milne. But it probably highlights another question, Derm. What does Grant Thomas do now? I mean, he would like to maintain his faith and relationship with Fraser. Does he bring him back out when the forward line is looking its most dangerous of the afternoon? Touch ball, Revolt. claim the mark, nothing doing. Blake comes wide. Goddard across to Graham. He's in trouble. Back to Revolt. A line of about 4 Saints directly behind the ball carrier. Thompson's got it now. 75 metres from goal. Up ahead to Harvey. Almost on the 50. Harvey tries to thread the needle. No good. Bounces very nicely for Matthew Carr. And he's gone with the up and under towards the wing, giving his teammates time. And characteristic almost of the mark he took at the SCG. Coming back to the flat of it, Revolt, but he dropped it that time. Baker was played the free. He comes out wide. Ball's got it. 75 metres from goal to Thompson.
Getting a bit of the footy now. Ball.
Milne leads. You're suggesting a long kick high in the air to Milne's not the option, Dennis.
Probably
Should he
not.
roll it inside 50 to Milne? Might be a better option. High bomb to the square. Johnson got a fist on it. Who's going to shark it? Parker rushes it through for a behind. Shammer wastes no time. There's still a chance here, the Saints. Kicking against a slight breeze. Johnson, back pocket. That seems to be the regular play. Crowley. He was paid the mark of the free. And it's against Blake.
He's been a valuable acquisition this season, Crowley.
He moves pretty well, doesn't he?
Yeah, and he's got a bit of fire in him. A bit tougher than some of the other Dockers. This is Parker.
What are you trying to say, Dennis?
Yeah, Dennis.
Oh, well, it came out wrong. He goes short back towards the pocket. This is Black.
You mean the ball out of defence?
I'll take that.
Okay.
Ball off a step. This is Parker. This will be a good win by the Dockers, though, if they can win this afternoon. It seems they may.
No need buttering up now.
Absolutely. Goes up towards the wing. Pavlich needs anything but. Outstanding player, one of the superstars of the AFL. Has this ball midway between the lines, right half back and right centre wing. Leaders on from Dodd, well run, just peeled off at the right time. He's marked it on the wing. Again, overlapping Shammer. Takes it and he's off. Shammer, probing kick inside the forward 50, loose at the back. It runs away from Farmer coming across, and McFarlane, who led in the opposite direction, and bounces out of bounds.
Sandilands working his way inside 50 to take this ruck contest. He's got the reach. Can he palm it to advantage? Revolt's with him. He palms it to advantage. Well played to Carr. Spins it around his body, and it's a behind. It was all going to plan except for Josh Carr's kick. And he, another player who was fined $1,800 for wrestling Stephen Baker last year when these two teams met. Clark. Hayes caught. Got a handball out. Revolt's got a couple to beat.
Pushed off it.
Gilmore caught, dispossessed. Harvey. And you just don't feel that there's enough sting in St Kilda. Well, hang on. Maybe there is now.
Now, this is...
There wasn't enough sting in them to make the comeback, but with Gary back out there, anything could happen.
I like this, and the reason being, as the ball goes over the boundary, Voss has done all right at full-back. I'd put Gary right next to him, and it means one of two things, that Voss will keep with the match-up against Grover, which he's done well, or they'll have to reassign somebody to Voss, and just tell Gary not to move from the square. He might clunk one.
Oh, great mark.
He's a star, this bloke.
That is a great mark. Pavlich from the boot of Black.
And this, from this angle, Robbo, what's that wind like down there? Has it swung around a little bit, because it does open up with this wind? It was earlier.
Yes, as we've said, you just got to hang it out there and it'll come around. It's still there, Derm. It's still pretty potent for Fremantle. It hasn't changed direction at all.
Far post, Mick. Just set it up.
Just hang it out there.
Yep. Breeze will do the rest. Inhale and take it through the goals. Pavlich going at number 7. No, too shallow. Misses to the near side, so Fraser's back out there at the opposite end of the ground. If it were WWE, he would come on to music. Now we've got another ball in the square. Well, that's simply not good enough. It's got to go, surely. That is an industrial hazard. Kick in from Goddard, straight down the middle. Fisher lost it. Opportunity for the Dockers. Bell to Carr. They played with great discipline, the Dockers, this afternoon. Short one. Cook will need to contest. Can't get there in time, and the mark is held, and well held by Clark.
Now, look at this. This is symptomatic of St Kilda today. after he took that mark, they ran sideways at half pace to receive. No one ran hard through the line and decided they were going to take it on themselves for some gut-busting run.
Graham, Harvey and Hayes combined to get it to Fraser Gehrig. This could turn it all around. Yes! He rolls it through. Look out. The G-trains are coming.
We've got a new one.
I like it too.
Gut-busting.
No, I like the new one better.
And butt-busting. Magnificent. This is a good goal. It's a good goal.
I'm sorry. You said it.
Yeah, I did say it.
And I just etched those things in my memory.
You've actually written it down
I
already.
have, and I'll be using it frequently. It's better than... 39 plays 10-12, 87 plays 75. So Fraser back on the ground and getting the goal.
He's just flicked off Grover again.
Opportunity for Headland, went to ground, dragged along the ground. Picked up by Carr, well done over the top. Now a chance for Cook right on the 50. It carries on the breeze. Is it accurate? No. Away to the left. They increase the margin.
Pretty fortunate there, the Saints, that it wasn't someone like Headland ahead of the ball there. Cookie's meant to be at it. Here you go. He's going to have some fun out there now.
Yeah, well, he's had how many minutes? About 30 minutes, a little under, to work out his next plan of attack.
It wasn't fair, Dwayne. I think when he came out, it's just unfair that Grover started teasing him again.
Here's Graham, got it from Hayes. Fremantle need to be careful. Harvey, clever. He's at half back. He pops it up towards the wing. Revolt. What if they were to pluck this out of the fire? The Saints against the breeze. It would be a terrific win. They're still capable. Gehrig very conscious of Grover because he doesn't like him. Grover goes after the football, keeps it in. There was some hanging on early and the crowd very vocal. Pavlich swings it back to the wing and the mark is taken by Revolt.
There's not much of a second effort out of Fraser once he hits the deck, so could almost put it up on his head and just let him push and shove in a one-on-one.
Just get the feeling now the Saints are prepared to roll the dice.
They have to.
Making their final assault as the kick comes down towards the 50. Well done from behind by Voss. He punches away from Parker and we'll have a throw in.
Now, Voss will not vacate. He's just on the bottom of your screen there to the right-hand side. He'll play true forward pocket very close to Fraser now.
Blake knocked it back of the pack. Harvey. Ball all the way back to Murray. Where's Fraser? Can't get near this one. Maguire's going to have to jump against 4. Does. Brings it down. Sandilands. Stolen by Del Santo. He wobbles it towards Milne. Will it bounce for him? Milne's over it. He's got it. They've got him. Good tackle by Thornton. He wrapped up Milne. It comes out to Goddard. Now Del Santo loops it high. Loops it long. Loops a goal. They're alive.
How many guys, Doom, does it take to put up their arms and appeal for a free kick?
I was looking at that. You know what it reminded me of? A slips cordon in cricket. Appealing. And they're all in white too.
Goodness.
That's the first thing I thought.
Can I ask you the question again when we come back from the break?
Oh, please do.
I'd love to.
Please do. You keep playing the game.
Oh.
Keep playing the game.
Now, Derm, I've got a query. How many Dockers does it take to plead for a free kick?
Well, there you go. 1, 2, 3 slips, a gully, a point. Yeah, they're all in the slips cordon, and they're all in white. You just keep playing the game. You don't appear. That's the first thing you get taught. You don't stop the game in your own mind.
10 points. Up goes Blake. Won it down, but straight to Carr. Hurried kick towards half forward. Pavlich is on the ground. Marked by Maguire. He runs away. Kicks it out towards the wing. Here come the Saints. Blake has got it. Alongside is Graham. Thinks about going over the top. Comes back to Blake. Inside is Harvey. Plenty of time for it to bounce on. Loose man on the far side of the ground. He goes to Fisher. And the defender can run at them. Where's Voss? He's moving. Fisher's decided to hold up. He comes to Voss now and hits him on the lead.
He's been good, hasn't he? He's a lead up forward for the first time today.
He's been terrific, and that was no easy mark. Edged under the football. Chris Connolly on the phone. Voss to the pocket.
Yes!
Fraser Gehrig takes the mark. Bear in mind, that last game here ended in controversy in the pocket, remember? Matthew Carr holding the ball. It could go right down to the final siren again this afternoon.
Oh, this is a tough kick because he does swing it left to right, and the wind is going to take it from his left to right. He's got to be brave and aim at the point post.
Eric does that. He's working it back. Just missed. Well, he did what you said. He missed by less than a metre. It was a bold attempt. He probably couldn't give away the behind post. Surely it still would have swung too far left to right. That was almost impossible.
Yeah, it's a very difficult pocket there. It's just so it would be so hard to mentally do. Kick deliberately outside the goals for a start.
Duffield gets it short from Shammer. And the first gamer with the responsibility to hit a target here goes back to Shammer.
Now the Dockers, they'll think, can we run down the clock here? Their game that was full of intensity and tackling would be the thing that would be best prescribed right now to save this 10-point or 9-point lead.
There's a lot of clock to be running down. Schwarz with a thump out of play, and it's back to a 50-50 ball.
The St Kilda smaller mobile ruckman now will come into play as well.
Revolt nearly ripped it out of the air.
Harvey's been great.
Walter, Harvey, an initial fumble. Hayes was half held before he got it.
Bozzo spotted it, umpire Bozzo.
He was right there. So Lenny Hayes chips the kick, and Montagna, he can gloat up and go long to Fraser Gehrig, who wants it to the goal square. He's got a couple to beat Fraser. He can't get a fly, and Matthew Carr takes the saving mark for the Dockers.
Just over 8 minutes to go then. Fremantle have led at every change. The smallest margin, 15 points at quarter time, but we're back to 9 now. Carr, oh, gee whiz, to the pocket. And that pocket again may haunt the Dockers. Graham's in trouble, dragged down there by Gilmore. Picked up by Mundy. At close quarters to Shammer. And I think he was holding. Well, he's very lucky. Mundy goes again. And the umpire calls for it now. That appeared to be holding the football, so maybe that's the make-up call for it. They don't do that a year on, do they? Not a year on.
No, the reason why he dished off that handball though and put his team under pressure is he looked down the line. Stevie Baker was the only one out there. That's deliberate.
Oh, big call too.
Yeah, Stevie Baker blocked up that space, so they decided to check it somewhere else. There's no out on that.
So is this an impossible shot? He has got no hope of kicking this.
Well, he hasn't got the loop. No, he's a right-footer too, so he hasn't got the loop that Fraser's got with the left. No, he's a chance, but it's a very difficult one. He runs around, he pulls it across the body. It's impossible in that pocket. Fraser knocks it back towards the square. Crowley tries to head for the line, and Carr does, but they're 7.5 minutes away from the final siren. Robbo.
Jeff Farmer in a bit of trouble, boys. He went for a mark at centre-half forward there with Maguire. Got clipped on the inside of his left knee. They've iced it up. He's trying to flex it now. Should be okay, I reckon.
Shammer can go to himself and straight down the middle if he wants to. He goes to himself and wide instead. Duffield. They've been leaving him loose in the pocket, the Saints. They're kind of committed to the wrong side here, the Dockers. They need to get to that dead pocket again. Short pass is okay by Shammer. And he's found Polak, half-back flank.
The intensity's out of the Dockers game like this.
Yeah.
And they could well easy snatch defeat from the jaws of victory here playing this.
Schwarz flies, can't bring the mark down. That would have been an important grab. Pavlich, the star of the show, to Crowley, and he goes to the boundary line, and Peter Bell was there. Will get a ball in, and it's back again to a 50-50 ball.
And St Kilda have, you can just sense that the players have the smell in their nostrils that they can get up here now. First time for today, they truly believe it.
Revolt in front, but knocked it down to Carr, who's been pretty good around the packs. Hits it close to the boundary line. Slipping over down there was Maguire. Pavlich finishes up with a football. Done that a bit this afternoon. He's right on the 50. Oh, that's a beautiful kick. Sets it up for McFarlane.
What a leap.
What a kick too. He went with the outside of the boot and had to pop it up, and that was centimetre perfect.
Oh yeah. But 2 errors here from the Saints. Maguire fell over, and Zav Clark just had to stick that. He was close enough to get hands around. You look at the hips, you hang on, and you just be like one of those little remora sucker fish on his belly. You just hang on, and nothing flicks you off, Dennis.
McFarlane then has missed a couple of easy ones this afternoon. Comes in and nails that one. That could be the knee buckler.
14 points. Yeah, he had to hang on to that one, had to stick onto it. Beautifully executed, though. He's been a star today, Pavlich, and that's a good jump. The ball gets waved around, gets dropped, and it's falling through free space for a fair while out of the hands of Luke McFarlane.
2 goals to Luke McFarlane, and the Dockers can see the finish line. They've been with their eye on it for about the last 6 minutes. It's a bit clearer now from the ball up. The clearance important. Big pack around it, and no clearance is a win for Fremantle. We'll get a ball up. Hit a bell again. 24 possessions. And the bounce, Sandlands, the reach advantage, knocked it down to Josh Carr, kicks it wide. Pavlich is down there, McFarlane, and Maguire decides to take it out, and it's not deliberate. Pavlich appealed for it. He's had a great afternoon, Matthew Pavlich. 6 goals, and he set up the one that might win the contest for them.
Josh Carr having a pronounced influence on this game now. Del Santo, after Sandlands knocked it down. Hayes away to Clark. Clark around the boundary line on the outer side, and the mark is held in front by Fiora. 20 disposals for Josh Carr. 8 clearances. Play-on's the call, is it? No. Fiora taking plenty of time then. Takes on the man on the mark and gets by him a tad too easily. Fiora runs up towards the wing. McWalter back to Fiora. Tries to go very low and succeeds getting it to Voss. Voss is 60 metres from goal, but the defenders well in front of their forwards at the moment as the ball comes in, and Murray reaches over the top of Shammer and takes the mark.
There's not that much difference between the height of these two players, but Murray, I saw him play under 18 4 or 5 years, maybe even longer ago now, and he took some wonderful overhead marks. He's very good at it.
And pops it through. So a flicker from the Saints.
Well, what does Lee Matthews say? He says when he has a lead that is as many goals as there is minutes ahead, when it gets below that, he thinks he can rest easy and comfortable. There's still a chance for 3 goals to be kicked in this. We've got 4.5 minutes left. 4 goals in on the Matthews scale of things, but 1.5 goals behind.
Four and a half minutes, 8 points. It's been done plenty of times before. They're against a slight breeze, a bounce. Blake jumped early. Sandlands knocked it down. Shammer, high bomb. McFarlane under it. Good man to have under a high ball. Can't mark it. Xavier Clark. Fisher caught by Headland. Good tackle. Schwarz sends it wide to Baker. He looks up and he's got the free man Murray, and he gets there. Takes the mark.
Has to be precise. The Dockers have loaded up in their back line.
Inboard to ball, about to get run down. Shrugs the tackle, chips the kick. If Voss can mark it, he can't. He got a little nudge. Just outside 50. Gehrig's in the pocket. He waits, and he waited too long. Then Grover said, "I'll take it, thanks." And he kicks it long and wide to the wing. But the Saints have the numbers. The boundary line, the only Fremantle player there. And the boundary line, too slow. Revolt's got it.
There's a very early bounce. Hand passes forward to Graham. Graham running down towards right half forward. Fraser dropping back towards the square. Graham a little confused by all of that. Comes back towards Hayes. Tackled by Dodd. Got away from that. Feeds it back. Fiora. A natural left footer gets through. He could kick this. It wobbles down towards full forward. Not his best effort. Bounces through from behind. 7 points the difference. Shammer to bring it back in.
Well, you know the Dockers under pressure. Last 3 times they've rushed some points. We could get down to an even goal.
Thornton goes back to Shammer to the opposite pocket and in space Grover. Some thrillers on this ground in recent seasons. Grover goes for distance. That's a pretty good kick too. Going back is Headland. Well played out there by Goddard. Knocked forward by Mundy. Still Headland. Goddard's got him. Looks for support, none on offer. Johnson applies a strong tackle. It lingered too long. St Kilda will get the free kick, but this is consuming valuable time.
Schwarz, half-back flank. 2 minutes 45. Hasn't got a lot of options. Just pokes it back to Montagna, who can run. The Dockers have flooded back, so Montagna can virtually take it free all the way to the midfield. Bounces a couple more times, continues to run it. Lenny Hayes sends it inside 50. Gehrig's there. He can't get a run at it, Fraser Gehrig. And the mark's been taken by Josh Carr. Put his body on the line. Could have been hurt big time, and it was a good grab. Sends it wide. Peter Bell can mark it and hold it. And he does.
Josh Carr has been terrific in this final term. Peter Bell, and it may be the Dockers are home. 7 points the difference. Under 2 minutes to go. Bell for distance. Good policy. And the target is very wise as well. Pavlich appear to be held without it. No free kick. Riebold picks it up. Goes to Blake. Back to Riebold. Man on in the middle. He goes to Ball. Now he can run at them. One final assault perhaps for the Saints. Ball a little indecisive. Running up through the middle. A second bounce. Nobody to give the football to. In and out of a tackle. Goes back to Graham. Back to Goddard. Goddard is short. Goes across to Clark. We're down to 120 now. St Kilda. Not to know it. The coach does, though.
He can kick it, this
a
boy.
look of resignation there on Grant Thomas. The kick from Schwarz goes down towards the pocket, and the smallest man on the ground has taken the mark, Peter Bell. And that should just about do it to Carr. Gilmore is running hard. Good running by Gilmore. Finishes up with the ball. He could go to Headland and or Duffield. He's got one of two. Decides he wants neither. Now goes in short. That wasn't a good kick. Picked off by Hayes. Hayes still going. One bounce inside the 50. Montagna needs to be straight. It is. 40 seconds to go.
Ball go, New Beauty. Let's have a look at the way to go to set up in this centre bounce now. Good balk here. I thought Lenny might have kicked right about then, but he took the bounce. And that wrong-footed him for a straight shot, but good pressure kick taken on the fly by Montagna. What an important centre bounce. Ball, Del Santo and Hayes. They're A-grade underneath the bounce team.
That's the Fremantle forward line. There's no one there. They're all back.
Well, if you were coaching, you'd have Pavlich on the ball, wouldn't you?
Is he on the ball? Dennis?
Oh.
Thank you. Ball up in the middle, 35 seconds. The Saints have not led today. Picked up out of the middle by Ball. Rolls it to Graham. 28 seconds and counting. A behind will at least get them some points. Blake has been good today. They need a mark. Montagna can't get a hand on it. Duffield. Josh Carr, tackled by Hayes, dispossessed. Goddard loops it to Montagna. 10 seconds remaining. We might get a ball up, and the clock should stop as soon as the whistle blows.
What a great innovation.
Comes down to this clearance.
Oh, Dennis, it's yours.
I'm claiming it there. So a bounce 40 metres out. They've got to win clear possession here, the Saints. Fremantle need to block them into space. Opportunity for Freo. They left it behind. That was Headland, and the ball is locked in again. And I think the clock will stop again. Saints wanting a free kick.
Just about all that can happen now is a free kick out of this. That's about the only thing.
Well, how many seconds to go?
What are they appealing for, the Dockers?
The light. Johnson knocked it down. Blake over his shoulder. Fiora across to Baker. Baker lines up and kicks. A point. There's going to be a free. No.
The siren's already sounded.
They were saying they heard the siren.
The siren's already sounded, but they did not hear it.
Went,
the umpires have to...
Well, it couldn't have gone because the clock was supposed to have been stopped.
Well, the umpires have to work out now whether one of them heard it on time.
One of them did. He's come up now and he's approached them.
But didn't it go after the whistle for a ball up?
Yeah, with the ball up.
No, well, they were saying it happened
just before the ball up had happened. And because none of the field umpires heard it, they can't actually say that time is over.
Well, the Who have got nothing on this.
Oh, now this is...
It's a wild climax to what's been a bizarre afternoon.
So, in effect, we have a tie. That last score stands.
Oh, wouldn't you be seething if you're Chris Connolly?
He's going out there, Chris Connolly. is heading out there to try and work out what's going on, because in essence it's just not right, is it?
No, the siren just... Actually,
Well, it depends.
I'm not going to say it, I've told you so, but a couple of times though when you hear the siren, I thought, gee,
Yeah,
that's
it was
not
hard.
loud.
It was hard to hear.
And in the climactic end...
Now, what are they? They're giving St Kilda a free kick. Was that Baker after he kicked the ball? This is an interesting discussion. Wouldn't it be nice to be a fly on the wall?
Or is it the
Lenny Hayes is having a go at Connolly, saying, get out of here. Lenny Hayes and Connolly are in dispute.
Well, this is appalling.
Well, this is bizarre.
The siren was so hard to hear all day long. But it depends. The players appeared to hear it after the umpire had blown the whistle to ball it up, so it can't go then.
Robbo's up to Chris Connolly.
Now Baker is getting another kick. Baker is getting another kick. Well, that last score can't stand surely if he's got the ball again.
And was the umpire abused by the players for not calling time?
No, unless he got dumped after he kicked it.
Where's Mickey? Mickey's out on the ground. Everybody else is too. Michael, what news?
Well, I tell you what, absolutely mass confusion, as you can see. I saw the clock go down off the TV screen, right? So I'm waiting for the siren. Now, as you said, the siren has been faint all day, so I'm standing on the boundary line. Mass confusion with what is going on at centre-half forward. So Chris Connolly doesn't know, the St Kilda players don't know, and neither the Fremantle players.
Did you hear a siren? Did you hear a siren, Mick?
To be perfectly honest, I didn't hear the siren, but I saw the clock go off the screen when it's supposed to have gone off.
Well, the Dockers put their hands up and were appealing that they heard it.
Well, how did he get the point then? In comes Baker, and Baker has kicked another point. Does the previous point stand? We have no idea.
We're going to have to wait on the goal umpires to go to the centre of the ground. They will confer, and really, we don't know who's won the game or drawn the game.
Or was the previous point not counted, was it? Was that
Well, he waved the flags, didn't he? He waved the flags. They may have cancelled it. I didn't see him cancel it.
Well, we'll wait on the goal umpires. They're the most important men on the ground at the moment because they will confer scores and then they wave the flags to give the all clear. We've got to cancel from... That's the
yes,
cancel.
they've cancelled it. Okay.
But Baker must have been pushed and dumped. So at the moment on the board we have 13-16-94 St Kilda, Fremantle 14-10-94. Scores are level on the board. So the goal umpires now conferring in the centre. And they... Let's go down to Robbo. He's got some clarity with it, with the umpires.
Just went and spoke to the umpires. I've got Chris Connolly walking towards me now. Now, Chris, hang on 1 second. Just spoke to the umpires. They did not hear the siren, and that free kick was given to Baker after a poor disposal back to Baker. Now, your feelings on today, mate?
Well, the siren had gone, and Byron Shammer told the umpire the siren's gone. The umpire on the bench thought Hayden Kennedy had heard the siren. All the players had heard it. It was before the bounce of the ball, and the game was finished.
Now, what do you think of the umpires saying they didn't hear the siren now, mate?
Well, look, that's the facts of what happened. And, of course, when our players heard the siren go, the game's over. The next thing, it's balled up. So, look, the AFL will take it into their... will have a good look at it. But the right thing's got to be done.
Certainly, it's very disappointing to end on a game like that, especially with Fremantle's probably dominated this match from the go.
Well, look, really proud of the guys. We really fought it out, and we knew that it's such an important game for both clubs in the context of the year, and it was always going to go to and fro, and you know, it was a great contest, but the right thing's got to be done. The team that deserves to win when the siren goes deserves the 4 points, and that's quite clear. And if the boot was on the other foot, we'd accept that too. The siren went before the ball was balled up. Byron Shammer told the umpire on the bench thought Hayden Kennedy had heard it. We're already up, you know, shaking hands. It had finished. It was a tough, tight contest, and I'm sure the AFL will make the right decision.
Chrissy, just one more. What do you go and tell your Dockers? What do you go and tell your players? There'll be frustration in there. There'll be tempers in there.
Oh no, we move forward now. We've got to, you know, really get ready for next week's game, and the guys are really seasoned campaigners. But it'll be, you know, we'll start setting ourselves up for a big contest next week.
Okay,
thank you.
Thank you, Robbo. On the spot, Johnny on the spot, Michael Roberts. Now, guys, so what we'll do here, I mean, this is a bizarre ending to a contest here. Let's go back to the last few seconds and see if we can pick it up and judge on the reactions of the Dockers players There's the coaching staff.
You might. Let's listen to this,
tune in.
Well, the siren can't go then because the umpire has blown the whistle.
They're all put their hands up. The first original shot, I think it's Mundy in the bottom of screen, hears the siren and puts his hands up. Now Baker, does he get dumped after it? Yeah, he gets contact after the kick. Yeah. So he can have that score stand, or he can elect another kick. And now he's elected another kick on the chance that he could kick a goal and win it.